Chapter 239. Oh, it's a gift from Jean Bebe, Xiaochen said. Jean Bebe? Xiaochen, you can't be half-hearted. Yu Xiaochuan was greatly shocked after hearing what Xiaochen said. His good mood that he had just come up with a great solution was gone. If Jean Bebe and Tang Tang were put together, Yu Xiaochuan felt that anyone who was sane would choose to be with Jean Bebe. Although Jean Bebe was a naughty girl and the nemesis of fops, she seemed to fit in well with Xiaochen. It was hard to say. What are you talking about? Xiaochen countered with a question. Exactly. You can't have Jean Bebe, but not Tang Tang. Yu Xiaochuan said. Gentlemen value friendship. We cannot abandon each other after we have slept with each other. Oh, Jean Bebe and I are good friends. Xiaochen did not bother to talk to him anymore. Gentlemen value friendship? This guy spent money on me to hit on his fiancée, and he said that he valued friendship? That sounded like bullsh*t. Alright. Call me if you need anything. Yu Xiaochuan was greatly relieved. He realized that the Jean family was not stupid enough to let Jean Bebe be with Xiaochen, a loser who had been kicked out of the family. Thinking about that, Yu Xiaochuan walked to Director Su's office in a hurry. The moment Xiaochen entered the classroom, Cheng Minjing sent him a message asking about Tang Tang. She was not relieved until she received a positive reply from Xiaochen. Zheng Xiaoquan, on the other hand, was somewhat worried because he did not see Xiaochen in the morning. Seeing Xiaochen, he hurried to ask, Xiaochen, have you seen Tang Tang? Why is she not here today? Oh, Tang Tang is sick. She fainted with a cold in the morning. Cheng Minjing and Jean Bebe happened to run into her and took her to the hospital. Then they informed me. I sent her home after her transfusion. She will probably take 2 to 3 days of sick leave. It won't be a problem. Xiaochen did not say much to Zheng Xiaoquan, fearing that he would be worried. After all, Tang Tang was fine now. She caught a cold. Zheng Xiaoquan was shocked. Let's go and see her after school, shall we? She likes to sleep. I'm afraid to disturb her. Forget it. She's fine. She said that when she's better, she'll come to school by herself. She told us not to visit her. Xiaochen said quickly. If that's the case, then okay. Zheng Xiaoquan didn't think that Xiaochen could lie to him, so he nodded to show that he understood. Yu Xiaochuan was very eloquent. Before the first class in the afternoon, the school broadcast the voice of Director Su. Attention everyone! Attention everyone! Tomorrow morning, the school will be organizing a free physical examination. Please be prepared. Because we will need to draw blood for testing, I suggest that you don't have breakfast. Director Su repeated before the class began. Yu Xiaochuan did good deeds without leaving his name, and he didn't let Director Su promote him. This surprised Director Su. Although Yu Xiaochuan had done a lot of good things before, he was a person who cared about his reputation. What happened this time? Could it be that he had changed and didn't care about fame and fortune anymore? But no matter what, the principal had agreed to this matter. The physical examination was beneficial, so he had no reason to refuse. The afternoon passed in a hurry. Xiaochen was driving the BMW X5 and was about to go home, but he received a call from CFA. CFA, what's the matter? Asked Xiaochen. White Fox Hero. According to the latest news from our CF family, the Sun family has appointed a new person to be in charge of the business of the Warrior Guild. CFA was also a little depressed. This Sun family is endless. 2 people are dead, and they still have the mood to say something. This old man, Sun Xiaonong's heart is so strong. Oh, I know Chen Iotafor. Xiaochen met him today. This person made Xiaochen very annoyed. So before CFA gave the order, he was put on the death list by Xiaochen. White Fox Hero, you actually know about it too. CFA was a little surprised. What do you plan to do next? He won't live for a few days. What should I do? Xiaochen said. You don't have to worry. I will help you settle it. Ooh. CFA's heart twitched. Listening to White Fox Hero's words, Chen Iotafor is not far from death? Don't know how he will die. Is it still the wind on the horse? This made CFA really a little confused. White Fox Hero is so powerful, and he is a psychic. Why does he like to let people die on the horse? However, she was afraid that this was White Fox Hero's bad taste. She didn't want to interfere, so she said, Then I will trouble White Fox Hero. My father is also in my villa. He said that he wants to invite you to dinner tonight to express his gratitude. Forget about the dinner. I am very busy. I have a lot of business. It's not just your business. Xiaochen said. If you have something to say, just say it. All right. Actually, there is something. CFA wanted to talk about it during dinner, but she didn't expect White Fox Hero to not keep the appointment. She had no choice but to say it on the phone. It's like this. Our Xia family, because of the Sun family's previous run on us, we lost a lot. Moreover, you also know that we paid you a lot of salary. Say it. Xiaochen was in a hurry to drive back. CFA explained so much, which made Xiaochen a little impatient. He still had to hurry home. Okay. CFA was a little embarrassed. Our Xia family also wants to do some temporary supply business. I heard that the Sun family has medicine master Sun's help, so they went to purchase some medicinal herbs. However, with our identity as an insider, it's impossible to inquire about such a confidential matter. So can White Fox Hero help inquire about what medicinal herbs the Sun family is purchasing? This, Xiaochen frowned. This matter was really difficult to inquire. Unless he forced the Sun family, otherwise, where could he ask? If it's difficult, then forget it. CFA actually knew that this matter was definitely troublesome. But she couldn't resist Xie Chaonan's persuasion, because the Sun family's capital chain was really a little tight. I will help you inquire about it. Don't have too much hope. Xiaochen looked at the 10 million reward and agreed. Then I will trouble White Fox Hero. CFA breathed a sigh of relief and hung up the phone. How is it? What did White Fox Hero say? Xie Chaonan asked quickly. White Fox Hero said to give it a try. CFA said. I think we shouldn't trouble White Fox Hero for such a small matter in the future. Okay, what about Chun Iodophor? Asked Xie Chaonan. White Fox Hero said that Chun Iodophor won't live for a few days. CFA said. He said that we don't have to worry. Haha, that's good. Xie Chaonan couldn't help but laugh. Will he still die on horseback? That's interesting. I didn't ask, but it might be. Said CFA. If another member of the Sun family dies, let's see if Sun Xiaonan will be afraid. This is called those who commit unjust deeds bring about their own destruction. Xie Chaonan laughed heartily. Also, White Fox Hero said that he is very busy. It's not just our Xie family's business, so he can't come for a meal, said CFA. Oh. Xie Chaonan was slightly stunned. Then he thought about it and asked. Then when you ask him to come, doesn't he come? He didn't say he was busy. No. CFA shook her head. Maybe he's busy today. Silly daughter. Haha. I guess White Fox Hero thinks that it's unnecessary for us to be the third wheel here. When you are alone, he comes. Xie Chaonan laughed and said, well, if that's the case, we won't bother you anymore. We will go back to the Xie family first. CFA wanted to say, it can't be like this, right? However, she suddenly felt a little hopeful that it was true. She didn't worship anyone, nor did she like anyone. The union with Wang Xiongzhuang was nothing more than a union of benefits. She didn't have too much contact with other men. However, recently, she suddenly looked forward to seeing White Fox Hero. She also looked forward to talking to him on the phone. Everything about White Fox was so attractive to her, making her want to understand him. CFA didn't know if it was worship or love, but she knew that she definitely didn't reject more contact with White Fox. Little sister, you can do it. Xia Huang raised his fist. The people of the Xia family left, leaving only CFA sitting on the sofa in a daze, thinking about White Fox Hero. However, her breathing suddenly became rapid. CFA hurriedly stood up and quickly ran upstairs. Her footsteps were a little unsteady. Xiaochen drove in the direction of his family's villa. He still needed to go back and brew medicine. However, when he passed by the pharmacy where Hongzhu was, Xiaochen thought for a moment and decided to thank Hongzhu. After all, the sky-clear grass was bought under Hongzhu's guidance. Moreover, for some reason, when Xiaochen passed by this place, he suddenly had the idea to see Hongzhu. If Hongzhu knew about this, she would definitely be very happy. Her subtle influence had finally taken effect. It seemed that the mental cultivation method she practiced was not completely useless for Xiao Chun. After parking the car, Xiao Chun got off and walked into the pharmacy. Huh, little brother, why are you here again? Hong Zhu had seen Xiao Chun several times a day, and even she was a little surprised. It's nothing. I was just passing by and wanted to thank you on the way. I bought the sky clear grass, Xiao Chun said. Oh, it's nothing. We have such a good relationship. You can come and chat with me when you have time, Hong Zhu said. I'm alone in the pharmacy, it's very boring. No problem, I'll be leaving first, Xiao Chun said. However, just as Xiao Chun was about to leave, two people pushed open the door and walked into the pharmacy. When the man in the lead saw Xiao Chun, he was stunned. Xiao Chun was also stunned. He was very surprised. Why did this person come here? Get lost. Chen Iotafor stretched out his hand and pushed Xiao Chun, causing him to stagger. He then turned to Hong Zhu and said, Boss, do you have any heaven reversing response fruit? Oh no, Hong Zhu simply said. No. Then forget it. Chen Iotafor was a little regretful, but he didn't say anything else. He turned around and was about to leave when he saw Xiao Chun again. Chapter 240. Chen Iafa sneered and said sarcastically, Why are you here to buy medicine again? Why do I keep bumping into you here? Does a good-for-nothing like you still need to take medicine? Oh, I know, are you impotent? Oh, it seems that thing of yours is very useful, but you should be careful. You can easily die if you use it too much. Xiao Chun curled her lips. Haha, sour grapes when you can't eat them. If I wasn't in a hurry, I would have beaten you up again. Chen Iafa didn't seem to mind and walked away with a laugh. I'll let you go for now. Xiao Chun looked at Chen Iafa's back and sneered, then turned to Hong Zhu and asked, Don't you have the heaven reversing response fruit? I seem to remember that I also have it among my medicinal ingredients, right? Why didn't you sell it to him? Big sister doesn't like to do business with dead people. I heard that money from dead people can be turned into underworld money. Wouldn't big sister suffer a great loss? Hong Zhu said. Dead people? Xiao Chun was slightly surprised. Don't tell me you couldn't tell? Hong Zhu asked. Tell what? Xiao Chun asked. Of course I could tell that the person just now was about to die, Hong Zhu said. Otherwise, why would you say that he would die easily? I was just speaking casually. Xiao Chun was dumbstruck. This Hong Zhu could actually tell that Chen Iafa was about to die? How was that possible? Black chi surged up from his forehead and formed a skull. We are all sensible people, so don't pretend in front of big sister. Hong Zhu curled her lips, but inwardly, she was sure that Xiao Chun was a devil cultivator and could also see the problem. Although not every devil cultivator had this ability, a small number of devil cultivators who cultivated special mental cultivation methods and had some talent were still able to do so. Hong Zhu was one of them, and in her opinion, Xiao Chun should also be one of them. Haha, Xiao Chun chuckled, but inwardly, he was even more shocked. He could even see that. Just what kind of background did this Hong Zhu have? Wasn't he too amazing? Right, tell big sister you can't really be impotent, can you? Hong Zhu blinked his eyes and suddenly asked Xiao Chun curiously. Every time you grab the medicine, is it to treat this? Pfft. Ahem. Xiao Chun didn't know whether to laugh or cry. How is that possible? Then why didn't you refute? Why do you look like you've been appointed? Hong Zhu did not know that Xiao Chun was deliberately pretending to be weak. Seeing that Xiao Chun did not fight with a martial artist at the first layer of inner strength, Hong Zhu found it a little strange. Why don't you give it a try? Xiao Chun was speechless when he saw Hong Zhu's confident expression. Sure. It just so happens that big sister hasn't tried it yet. Hong Zhu nodded excitedly. Come on, come on. Is that true? Hong Zhu's reply slightly tempted Xiao Chun. It's true. But according to our clan's rules, you have to take responsibility, and then marry into our clan. Hong Zhu said with a beaming smile. Then forget it, I'm leaving. You can have fun. Xiao Chun turned around and left. He knew that Hong Zhu was playing with him. Why would he believe her? Hong Zhu's bell-like laughter came from behind Xiao Chun, causing Xiao Chun's mind to ripple. He hurriedly quickened his pace. After returning to the car, Xiao Chun suddenly remembered that Chen Iotafor had come to buy the heaven-reversing response fruit. The Sun clan was the herb supplier. So why did they go to other pharmacies to buy it? Even if they used it themselves, shouldn't they have asked Medicine Master Sun to bring it back from the Warriors Market Square? There was no reason for them to come to a pharmacy. Suddenly, Xiaochun remembered CFA's call and suddenly understood something. After calling CFA back, Xiaochun said directly, "The Sun clan is buying the heaven-reversing response fruit." You found out so quickly?" CFA's voice was a little strange, as if she was extremely excited. "CFA, what's wrong?" Xiaochun was a little puzzled. "Isn't it good to be fast? Why are you so surprised? You weren't so surprised when the Sun clan died." "Ah, no, nothing, thank you, I got it. I have something to do here. I'll hang up first." CFA hung up the phone without waiting for Xiaochun's response. Xiaochun really didn't understand why CFA was so excited, but his task had been completed, so he could go home and brew the medicine with peace of mind. Jean Bebe didn't stay here tonight. Old Master Jean was very fond of Jean Bebe, so he usually let her go back home. Looking at Cheng Minjing lying on the sofa watching TV, Xiaochun was a little timid. Would Miss Jean bring up what happened last night again? "Why did you come back so late? Did you go to see Tang Tang?" Cheng Minjing was a little unhappy when she saw Xiaochun drive back so late today. "No, I went to the pharmacy." Xiaochun glanced at Miss Jean and found that she was not really angry, so he said, "Oh, I'm hungry." Cheng Minjing heard that Xiaochun went to the pharmacy instead of Tang Tang's home. She didn't know why, but she felt a little better. "I'll get something to eat." Xiaochun went to the kitchen. He had been busy these days, and he hadn't cooked a decent meal for Miss Jean for several days. After a while, Xiaochun cooked all the ingredients in the refrigerator and put them on the table. "Why did you cook so many dishes today? Tell me, did you do something wrong to me?" When Cheng Minjing saw the dishes on the table, she was a little surprised. Xiaochun didn't know what to say. "I'm just kidding." Cheng Minjing sat down and picked up the chopsticks. She glanced at Xiaochun and said, "You eat too." "Okay." Xiaochun nodded, sat across from her, and had dinner with Miss Jean. Every time he had dinner with Miss Jean, Xiaochun had a very warm feeling, as if he was at home. He didn't know if Miss Jean had the same feeling, but probably not. It was estimated that Cheng Minjing had never regarded him as her fiancé. What he had done before would probably make anyone sad. After dinner, Miss Jean looked at the bowl and chopsticks on the table and said, "Do you want me to wash the dishes?" "No, you go to rest." "I'll do it." Xiaochun quickly cleaned up the bowl and chopsticks. Cheng Minjing glanced at him and said in her heart, He must have provoked me yesterday, and today he came to please me. Then I won't be polite to him. I'll go to rest." The current Xiaochun could still be considered a more qualified fiancé. If he had been like this before, I wouldn't have kicked him. It's too late now. It's too late to try and please me. I'm not going to pay attention to you. Yesterday, I saw how pleased you were when you touched me. You must be interested in me. It must be so. Not long after Cheng Minjing went upstairs, Yi Xiaoya came downstairs. She looked around and asked Xiaochun, "Jean Bebe is not here, is she?" "No, what's wrong?" Xiaochun was surprised. "Nothing. I was pissed off by her this morning," Yi Xiaoya said gloomily. "In the morning?" Xiaochun was not here in the morning. He went out early, so he didn't know what happened between Jean Bebe and Yi Xiaoya. But with Jean Bebe's eloquence, Yi Xiaoya must have been at a disadvantage. "Forget it, let's not talk about it," Yi Xiaoya said. "I'll study that dog for another 2 days. It's weird. It seems to be a martial dog." "Martial dog? What's that?" Xiaochun was somewhat confused. "It's a dog that can practice martial arts. But I'm not sure." Yi Xiaoya said, "You should know martial arts. I've investigated your and Cheng Minjing's identities. You are her fiancé and the foppish young master of the Xiao family. You can't practice martial arts. But the rumors are not entirely true. I don't see you as a foppish young master, but you are infatuated with her. Even though you were kicked out, you are still working as a manservant for the goddess. I really don't know what to say about you. Can't you live without her?" Yi Xiaoya's words made Xiaochen speechless. What Yi Xiaoya had investigated was mostly the superficial things. Few people knew the real reason why he was here. Yi Xiaoya probably hadn't found out either. Why are you talking about me? I need to go to school and survive now. Without her taking me in, what can I do? You can go to the warrior guild to do missions. Oh yes, you can't. Okay. Yi Xiaoya suddenly remembered that Xiaochen was a good-for-nothing. If he couldn't practice martial arts, why would he do missions? Xiaochen didn't know what to say. Let's not talk about me. How's your retreat? Retreat? How do you know that I'm in retreat? Yi Xiaoya was stunned and looked at Xiaochen strangely. Not many people knew that she was in retreat to break through, and she didn't tell Xiaochen. Oh, you've been in seclusion every day. Aren't you in retreat? Xiaochen said calmly on the surface, but in fact he was shocked. He almost exposed his identity as the White Fox. He was confused by Yi Xiaoya's words just now. He thought that he was the White Fox. You can say that I'm in retreat. Yi Xiaoya only understood what Xiaochen meant after listening to him. Okay, let's not talk about it anymore. I'm going to take some medicinal ingredients to brew the medicine. After saying that, Yi Xiaoya went to the fridge to take the medicinal ingredients. Xiaochen nodded and returned to his room. Xiaochen now found the reason. He couldn't continue to level up and break through. It was probably because he didn't have enough spiritual jades. However, it was difficult to buy spiritual jades in ordinary jewelry stores. Xiaochen planned to try his luck tomorrow when he had time. As for the physical examination, Xiaochen didn't want to go at all. He was very healthy. If there was any problem, the Elder Heaven Ancestor would tell him immediately. There was no need for a physical examination at all. Xiaochen just happened to have the whole morning to dig for spiritual jades. Back in his room, Xiaochen started to brew the medicine. Although the Sun family couldn't buy too many emergency response fruits, they couldn't stop Chiniofo from going door to door to find them. They also bought 200,000 to 300,000 worth of goods. When the time came, they would make a profit of more than 100,000. After explaining to Sun Xiaono, Chiniofo couldn't wait to return to his villa. Sun Yumao said that he would reward him today and let him enjoy the full set of treatment of an emperor. Chiniofo was excited when he thought about it. Sun Yumao hadn't treated him so well for years. Status really determined everything. The plan to deal with Chen Jinping was also quietly carried out. Chapter 241. For the Sun family, it was as if the heavens were helping them. Chen Jinping didn't go home directly after school today, but drove to the airport instead. It was important to note that the section before the airport expressway was an uninhabited area. It was a convenient place to make a move. Sun Yuming brought the Stage 6 Inner Force guard with him to the empty section of the highway in front of the airport. They waited there quietly for Chen Jinping's return. As everyone knew, after going to the airport, they would have to drive back. This was the only way. Therefore, when they found out that Chen Jinping went to the airport, they just had to wait for him on the way back. Sun Yuming was excited as he parked the car on the temporary parking line. It was time for revenge. Kill Chen Jinping and avenge the Sun family, Sun Rongqin, and Sun Rongjin. The Sun family's investigation was right. Chen Jinping did drive to the airport after school today, and the car he drove was the black Volkswagen that Xiao Chun gave him. In addition to Chen Jinping, Chao Yuliang was also in the car. However, there were only 2 of them when they went, and when they came back, there were 2 more people in the car. They were Li Shanying and an expert invited by Li Shanying. This expert was a wanted criminal with level 6 inner strength. He was invited by Li Shanying to kill Xiao Chen. Li Shanying wouldn't make a move himself, nor would he let the Li family do it. After all, this wasn't the Li family's territory. Using martial artists to kill people would cause dissatisfaction from other families, and the gains would not make up for the losses. Even with the help of Chao Yuliang and Chen Jinping, it wouldn't work, because they didn't have absolute power in Songning City. Hurting people directly was a taboo. Unless one's strength was tyrannical, others wouldn't dare to say anything. Otherwise, it was better to avoid it as much as possible. Therefore, the person Li Shanying invited was a wanted criminal. If he made a move, he would only be committing crimes. Even if he killed Xiao Chun, he would die in vain. He was already a wanted criminal on the Warrior Guild trading hall. What else could he do? Continue to be wanted? What's more, the person who died was Xiao Chun. It was hard to say if anyone would avenge him, so he could rest easy. Haha, brothering is so thoughtful. Chao Yuliang was overjoyed to see this stage 6 internal force martial artist. Heaven was really helping him. The one behind the scenes was already desperate to kill Xiao Chun, but he didn't have any good ideas. Today, Li Shaniying called and said that he would bring an expert. In this way, Chao Yuliang could continue to use Li Shaniying to kill Xiao Chun. Stage 6 inner force. Let's see if Xiao Chun can still die. This time he will definitely die. Therefore, Chao Yuliang addressed Li Shaniying as brothering. This person was simply here to solve his problems. It's just a coincidence. Li Shaniying waved his hand. They came in a private plane. With Li Shaniying's ability, it was easy to create a fake identity for this wanted criminal, especially since it was his own plane. The inspection was not that strict. Therefore, the Warrior Guild did not even realize that this wanted criminal had fled to Songning City. Then when do we make our move? Chen Jinping couldn't wait. Motherf asterisk Kerr. He cheated me of a few cars and gave me a worthless broken car. I'm so angry. Wait until he is alone. After all, Brother He Feng is a wanted criminal. It's not good to appear in a crowded place. It's not good if he is targeted by the Warrior Guild, Li Shaniying said. No problem. Xiao Chun wakes up at 3 or 4 in the morning to set up his stall. There are not many people on the street at that time, so it's a good time to make our move. Chen Jinping knew Xiao Chun's routine like the back of his hand. Okay, tomorrow morning it is. Li Shaniying also wanted to make his move as soon as possible to avoid trouble. The car got off the airport highway and onto another highway. There were very few cars on this highway, especially those returning to the city. Because Li Shaniying's plane was a private plane, they were the only ones who got off at the same time. There were even fewer vehicles returning to the city. Suddenly, Chen Jinping, who was driving, was shocked because the road in front of the car was suddenly blocked by a rough wooden block. Creak! Chen Jinping braked suddenly and cursed. Who the F asterisk CK is so crazy to put a wooden block in the middle of the road? Do they want to die? Chao Yuliang also frowned. He looked around and saw that there were no cars passing by. Could it be a robbery? It was not uncommon to set up obstacles on the highway and rob people. It was also often seen in the news. But who would be so daring as to block their vehicles? Let's go and take a look. Li Shaniying was very calm. There was a stage 6 inner force warrior in the car. What was there to be afraid of? Just as they got off the car, 2 people suddenly jumped out from a haystack on the side of the highway. One of them directly swung his fist at them. This person did not have a clear target. Other than killing Chen Jinping, he also wanted to kill all the witnesses. In fact, he wanted to silence them. Boom! The level 6 inner force fugitive that Li Shaniying had found, Black Crazy Brother, welcomed the attack with a punch. He was very self-aware. He knew that it was all because of Li Shaniying that he was able to escape death. Today, it was the day for him to show his loyalty to Li Shaniying. If he did well, Li Shaniying would definitely secretly arrange for him to enter the Li family in the future. With that, he would be able to escape from the Warrior Guild. The 2 fists collided. Black Crazy Brother and the Sun family's stage 6 inner force warrior each took a few steps back before stopping. The stage 6 inner force warrior was here to kill, so he did not hold back and used all his strength. Black Crazy Brother, on the other hand, wanted to show his loyalty. Naturally, he wanted to kill the person as soon as possible, so he also used all his strength. You are also stage 6 inner force warrior. Both of them said almost at the same time. Kill them. Seeing that the Sun family's guard was about to retreat, Sun Yuming was shocked and immediately ordered him. Sun Yuming regretted jumping out with them. In his eyes, Chen Jinping and his gang would definitely die, so there was no need for him to hide his identity. But now, he did not expect that there would be an additional stage 6 inner force warrior in Chen Jinping's car. Although he was not sure if Chen Jinping saw him, or if he would recognize him in the future, he did not dare to take the risk. If he let Chun Jinping go tonight, then the Sun family and the Chun family would not rest until one of them was dead. Blocking the road and killing people was an irreconcilable feud. The Sun family's guard nodded. He came here today because he was promised a great reward. His younger brother had grown up and was very talented in concocting medicine. Therefore, the Sun family promised him that if he did a good job, his younger brother would be able to learn from Medicine Master Sunday. In this way, the Sun family's guard had no choice but to use his full strength. He could also see that the Stage 6 Inner Force warrior in front of him was similar to him in terms of strength, but from the way he responded to him, he could tell that the warrior was unorthodox. Therefore, in terms of strength, the Sun family's guard should be slightly stronger. Ha! The Sun family's guard dodged Black Crazy Brother and punched Li Shaning, who was beside Black Crazy Brother. F***CK. Li Shaning was a little dumbfounded. What was going on? Black Crazy Brother was also stunned. He did not expect the Sun family's guard to be so despicable. Instead of hitting him, he changed his target to his master. Left with no choice, he turned around and pushed Li Shaning away, forcefully taking the attack from the Sun family's guard. Bang! Black Crazy Brother spat out a mouthful of blood. However, the Sun family's guard did not use his full strength in the previous punch. Since there was an expert here, he did not dare to use his full strength in every move. Otherwise, his stamina would be depleted very quickly. Wouldn't that be waiting to be beaten up? Therefore, when he hit Li Shaning, he only used 10% of his strength. Therefore, Black Crazy Brother's injury was not very serious. However, Black Crazy Bro also went crazy. He turned around and threw a heavy punch at the Sun family's guard's head. The Sun family's guard was shocked and subconsciously dodged. However, Black Crazy Bro wasn't stupid. He learned the Sun family's guard's despicable moves and directly passed by him, kicking Sun Yuming, who was behind him. The Sun family guard was greatly alarmed, but Big Brother Heifeng had walked past him. Even if he turned around to block, it would be too late. So he had no other choice but to grab Big Brother Heifeng and try to pull him back. Rip! The sound of clothes being pulled was heard, followed by a bang. Black Crazy Brother's kick landed on Sun Yuming's body. Although the Sun family's guard pulled him back in time and reduced most of the force, this kick on Sun Yuming, who was only at the peak of the first stage of Inner Force, was still enough to make Sun Yuming suffer. Moreover, after being pulled back by the Sun family's guard, Black Crazy Brother's kick was not as high. Originally, it was aimed at the chest, but it ended up on the crotch. Sun Yuming's face immediately turned green. He directly knelt on the ground with a ouch. His head was covered in cold sweat, and his body was trembling. He felt that he had lost everything. Sun Yuming roared while trembling. Kill him! Kill him! The Sun family's guard was also a little anxious. He had already failed to protect Sun Yuming. If he still failed to take down the murderer, then not only would his brother learn from Alchemist's son, but he would also have to bear the blame. The Sun family was not scary. The scary thing was Alchemist's son Yukai behind them. This person's power was extremely terrifying. You're courting death. Give me your life. After the Sun family's guard dragged Big Bro Heifeng back, he suddenly kicked him in the back and sent him flying. This kick was with all his strength, so the force was quite strong. Black Crazy Brother felt that his spine was about to explode, and he was directly sent flying. After the Sun family's guard kicked Black Crazy Brother, he did not stop. You hit my master, I'll hit your master too. He quickly ran towards Li Shaning, Chun Jinping and the others. Li Shaning was scared out of his wits. Where did all these people come from? Why were the robbers so awesome? They were all martial artists at the 6th stage of Inner Force? When did Songning City become so awesome? This wasn't a gathering place for martial artists. So why were there so many powerful martial artists? There were so many that the robbers on the road were all martial artists at the 6th stage of Inner Force. Chapter 242. One had to know that the cities where the Martial Artists Guild and the Martial Artists Market were located were more developed, and there would be some big clans doing business and developing there. However, in reality, those big clans, ancient martial families, and sects would avoid the Martial Artist Guild's surveillance and establish their bases in other cities. Therefore, A situation like the one in Songning City, where a level 6 inner force expert was everywhere, shouldn't happen. Li Shanning took a step back to dodge, but he was still hit by the Sun family's guard's palm wind. Half of his face swelled up. Who are you? I'm Chen Jinping from the Chen family of Songning City. Do you know who my father is? Do you know who my grandfather is? Chen Jinping was a little confused. He didn't know who it was. My father is the Warrior Guild's Vice President Chen. You dare touch me? Just you wait. You will all die a horrible death. My grandfather, Martial God Chen, is an inner force expert above level 8. Once he makes a move, you will all die. Stop shouting. I think he's Sun Yuming from the Sun family of a neighboring city. I've seen him before. Chao Yuliang recognized the man who was kneeling on the ground and covered his crotch. He frowned and said, "Why is the Sun family looking for trouble with us? Is it because you beat up that Sun Rongjin at the beach last time? That can't be. It's not a big deal to beat him up. But he sent someone to kill us? What kind of logic is this?" Chen Jinping was stunned. The Sun family's guard didn't chase after Li Shanning, because Black Crazy Brother would soon get up. If he did anything to Sun Yuming, it would be too late for regrets. He turned around and saw that Black Crazy Brother had indeed gotten up. Why-ya-ya-ya. Black Crazy Brother was kicked and suffered a serious injury. He clenched his teeth and fought with all his might. It was either you die or I die. Kill him for me. Sun Yuming roared. The Sun family's guard slowly nodded his head. He took a deep breath and prepared to continue fighting. When experts of the same level had similar strength, it was difficult to determine the winner and loser. Who won and who lost could be decided in an instant. Seeing Black Crazy Big Brother running over, the Sun clan's guard was about to react according to the situation, when he saw Black Crazy Big Brother suddenly spread out his arms. Like a rock spreading its wings, he soared into the sky and smashed towards the Sun clan's guard. Mad Demon Slash. This was Black Mad Bro's self-created and famous move. His entire body smashed down from the sky like a giant bird. At this moment, the muscles on his body were taut and incomparably hard. If he smashed down on a low-level martial artist, he would definitely be smashed to death. Facing an expert of the same level, it was also very powerful. Especially an injured martial artist like the Sun family's guard. He was even more confident that he could smash him to death. However, what Black Mad Bro didn't expect was that the Sun family's guard didn't dodge at all. Instead, he raised his arms above his head and pushed them out. Fist techniques were what the Sun family's guard was good at. He directly smashed both of his fists at Black Mad Bro's body. He didn't dodge either. He wanted to end the battle as soon as possible, and then kill Chen Jinping and Chao Yuliang. With his current stamina, he still had some stamina left after the fight with Brother Heifeng. It was not a problem for him to deal with a martial artist at the peak of Stage 2 internal force. Li Shanning and Chao Yuliang were just ordinary people. When he hit Li Shanning earlier, he realized that Li Shanning didn't use any inner force to resist. Therefore, he could determine that Li Shanning didn't know inner force. As for Chao Yuliang, according to the information, he was as useless as Xiao Chun, unable to cultivate inner force. As for these two ordinary people, as long as he had a trace of strength left, he could easily kill them. After making the calculations, he suddenly punched with all his strength. Bang! With a loud bang, Black Mad Bro landed heavily on the Sun family's guard's fists. The Sun family's guard's legs sank into the hard road, and two bowl-sized holes appeared on Black Mad Bro's chest. Black Mad Bro screamed in pain and fell to the ground. He twitched twice and stopped moving. However, the Sun family's guard didn't have it easy either. It seemed like he had won, but in fact his internal organs were all shifted under the huge impact just now. He couldn't use his strength at all, and his strength was only suppressed to about Stage 3 inner force. However, this bit of inner force was enough to kill Chen Jinping. That's all. I didn't expect you to have helpers. But it doesn't matter. He's already dead, so you can't escape the fate of being killed. The Sun family's guard grinned and pulled his feet out from the road, walking towards Chen Jinping and the others. F***CK famous son, right? You want to go against the Chen family to the end, don't you? Have you ever thought about the consequences? Chen Jinping was a little afraid. This was a martial artist with stage 6 inner force. Previously, Chen Jinping had been able to defend against Mad Black Bro's attack, so he was still fearless. Go against you? Ha, what a joke. You know what you've done. Sun Yuming had recovered a little. Although his lower body was in pain, he could still force himself to stand. Anyway, Medicine Master Sun was at home. It should be fine to go back and check on him. Fine, you're good. Chen Jinping thought Sun Yuming was talking about beating up Sun Rongjin at the beach. He was furious. If you dare touch me, I'll make your Sun family extinct. My father will make your Sun family extinct. Chen Jinping saw that Sun Yuming's D*CK was kicked, so he threatened him. Ha! Sun Yuming was stunned. Extinct? Extinct? Could it be that Sun Rongjin and Sun Rongqin's deaths weren't accidents? Was it Chen Jinping's doing? Thinking of this, Sun Yuming was furious. Don't talk nonsense with him. Kill him. Ha! The Sun family's guard punched at Chen Jinping. Judging from his strength, he was at least stage 3 inner force. Chao Yuliang had been observing from the side. When he saw the Sun family's guard punch at him, he suddenly had an idea. It seemed that this guy was also injured. It was just a strong bow. But if he attacked, his strength would be exposed. However, he had no choice but to attack now. Li Shannying was an ordinary person, and Chen Jinping was only at the peak of stage 2 inner force. How could he resist the attack of a stage 3 inner force? Thinking of this, when the Sun family's guard's punch was about to hit Chen Jinping, Chao Yuliang attacked and caught the Sun family's guard off guard. A full blow of stage 3 inner force. Originally, the Sun family's guard had concentrated all his strength on this blow against Chen Jinping. He didn't make any defense on his body, and he was caught off guard. Boom! The Sun family's guard was sent flying by Chao Yuliang's punch and landed on the ground not far away. He struggled for a while, and then stopped moving. Sun Yuming's eyes flashed with horror, but he was not stupid. He made a prompt decision and ran to the car parked not far away. He got in the car, started it and ran. Chao Yuliang wasn't useless, but he had hidden his strength. He was a martial artist at the peak of stage 3 inner force. This guy hid his strength really well. Chao Yuliang's attack also surprised Chen Jinping. He looked at Chao Yuliang in surprise. Brother Liang, you're a martial artist? And a martial artist at the peak of stage 3 inner force? Yes, I've been hiding my strength before. Chao Yuliang nodded pretentiously. He had some regrets in his heart. He wanted to kill Sun Yuming to silence him, but he let him escape. There was a huge log in the middle of the road. They had to move the log away to cross it, and Sun Yuming's car was parked on the side of the log. If they moved the log away, they definitely wouldn't be able to catch up. Sun Yuming's car was also a good car. The gap was still very obvious. Damn, so Brother Liang, you've been hiding your identity. You're so awesome. I admire you so much. I thought you were as useless as Xiao Chen. But now it seems that you've been fooling around with that idiot Xiao Chen. Chen Jinping said with admiration. It's not that I'm fooling around with him. I just don't want to show off. Otherwise, I would have caught up with Cheng Minjing a long time ago. Chao Yuliang said proudly. With my strength, I can be considered one of the best among the younger generation in Songning City. That's right. How can Xiao Chen compare with you? If the Chung family knew your strength, they would definitely marry Brother Liang. Chen Jinping flattered. Okay, you two stop flattering me. Tell me, what the hell is going on? Li Shannying was still a little confused. How come the master he brought was killed before he even saw the shadow of Xiao Chen, when he just arrived in Songning City? That Sun Yuming is a temporary member of the Sun family. I don't know what's wrong with him. He actually brought people to kill us. Chen Jinping said. If you want to talk about hatred, Brother Liang and I beat up a junior of their family at the beach last time. There's nothing else. Who knew they were so vengeful? Oh, that's the trouble you guys caused? Li Shannying suddenly frowned after listening. He was very unhappy. You guys are responsible for the trouble you caused. The master martial artist I brought is dead. What do you think we should do? I say, young Master Li, you're wrong. Chao Yuliang said. At the beach, Sun Rongjin of the Sun family was looking for trouble with Xiao Chen. It was said that he took a fancy to a woman of Xiao Chen's in our school, so the two of them had a conflict. We deceived Xiao Chun to go to the beach. Wasn't it also you who wanted to do it? Could it be that we didn't care about Xiao Chun and let him be beaten up by Sun Rongjin? Can he still go out with us next time? Young Masterly, can your next plan still be carried out? How is this our fault? We are still puzzled. Because we did things for young Masterly, we got into trouble with the Sun family. So that's how it is. Li Shanning laughed after hearing that. He knew that Chao Yuliang had no reason to lie about this kind of thing. He would know after some investigation. Therefore, he immediately changed his smile and said, I was just joking. Don't worry, it's my fault. If Brother Heifeng is dead, then so be it. You guys can still get 5,000 points if you hand his corpse to the Warriors Guild. You can get 5,000 points as a reward. This Brother Heifeng's strength was higher, but the reward was the same as the evil practitioner last time. This was also because Brother Heifeng was entrusted by the Warrior Guild. Chapter 243. On the other hand, Evil Cultivator was a mission entrusted by the rich young master. Different people would get different points. 5,000 points would be 5 million. Hearing this consolation, Chao Yuliang nodded slowly. Recently, Xiao Chun had cheated away a lot of money, and he needed to replenish it. What should we do next? Chao Yuliang nodded and asked. Now Brother Black Crazy hadn't even seen Xiao Chun's shadow, and he was already killed by the Sun family. What kind of rubbish was this? Why was it so difficult to deal with Xiao Chun? Previously, when he was dealing with Xiao Chun, the Lu family kept going against him. But that was because of Cheng Minjing, so it was understandable. Now the Sun family came out, and it was because of those inexplicable *T reasons. He had asked Qin Jinping to beat up Sun Rongjin? Was that the reason? Let me think about it. However, after you submit the mission, the Warrior Guild will know that Brother Heifeng, a wanted criminal, had escaped to Songning City without any warning. I'm afraid that the next step will be to strictly guard against foreign martial artists. Maybe they will even send an inspector from the higher-ups. Li Shanning said, Chao Yuliang, your father is the vice president of the Warrior Guild. He should know about this. If he can open the back door for me, it won't be a problem for me to get another wanted martial artist. I'm afraid that won't work. Chen Jinping shook his head quickly. He knew what he was relying on. His father had just become the vice president of the Warrior Guild, and he had just become the young master of the Chen family. If such a thing happened at this critical juncture, the Chen family might be finished. Although he was a little stupid sometimes, it didn't mean that he was a fool. That's it. We can only think of other ways. Li Shanning sighed. He thought that it was in the bag this time, but he didn't expect it to be such a bad start. He didn't expect Chen Jinping to persuade his father to let him go. A car is coming from behind. Let's go. Chao Yuliang suddenly said. What happened before was actually very fast, only a few minutes, and it was normal for there to be no traffic. Now that there was a car coming from behind, Chao Yuliang quickly kicked the log aside, and then quickly moved the two bodies on the ground into the haystack by the roadside. They pretended to get out of the car to relieve themselves. After the car behind them left, Chao Yuliang asked Chen Jinping to fold up Black Crazy Bro's body and stuff it into the trunk. As for the body of the Sun family's guard, he was too lazy to take it. They got into the car and prepared to find a place to stay to discuss the next opportunity. The few of them got into the car and prepared to find a place to settle down and discuss the next step of the plan. The car drove all the way to the Warrior Guild. Inside the car, the atmosphere was a little depressing. The four people who were originally in high spirits had now become three sad people. This Xiao Chun, what other hobbies does he have? Let's start with his hobbies. Li Shanning felt a sense of defeat. It was the first time he felt that killing someone was so difficult. Moreover, it was a useless person who was chased out of the family. He doesn't have any hobbies. Alright, he loves money. It was the same in the car race last time. Chen Jinping thought for a moment, then slapped his thigh and said, Didn't he kill your brother in the car race? Why don't we make a fuss about the car race? It's easy to make a move on the underground car race, but it's not easy to make a move on other aspects. What Jinping said makes sense. Based on the current situation, If we invite Xiaochen to race, he can still go. However, if we ask him to do something else, we can't guarantee a 100% success rate. Chao Yuliang also nodded and said, car race. That's fine. I'll plan it. Li Shanning nodded. This suggestion was not bad, and he could discuss it with Lin Chao when the time came. There were people on night shift at the Warrior Guild. Chao Yuliang and Chen Jinping carried Brother Heifeng's corpse and walked in. When Chao Yuliang and Chen Jinping entered the Warrior Guild, they were stopped by the guard. Hello, the two of you. Please show me your Warrior Guild membership card. I didn't bring it, but I'm Chen Jinping, and my dad is Chen Jinping. Chen Jinping looked at the guard and said arrogantly. The guard was slightly stunned, but he didn't dare to stop them. After all, Chen Jinping had said Vice President Chen's name. How could he dare to be rash? He quickly said, Young Master Chen, do you have anything that can prove your identity? Don't dawdle. I'm here to submit a mission. Can't you see that I'm carrying the wanted criminal here? Chen Jinping pointed at the person on his back. Ah, the guard didn't know who Brother Heifeng was. All right, I have a membership card. Chao Yuliang waved his hand and took out a membership card from the hidden compartment of his wallet. This was a membership card that he had applied for with another identity. Normally, he wouldn't use his real identity. But now that his hidden strength had been exposed, there was no need to hide it anymore. Oh, the guard quickly verified Chao Yuliang's membership card and let them in after finding that there was no problem. After all, at least it proved that they were both martial artists. Even if Chen Jinping wasn't Vice President Chen's son, he was still someone who understood martial artists. There wouldn't be any trouble. The two of them entered the Warrior Guild's trading hall. It was already empty, but the emergency duty room was still lit. Chao Yuliang and Chen Jinping walked over and submitted the mission. Although the martial artist on duty felt that it was a miracle that Chao Yuliang, a registered member at the peak of Stage 3, could kill a Stage 6 criminal, but the person beside him didn't show his strength. He might even be an expert. Moreover, when Chao Yuliang registered, he was at the peak of Stage 3. Maybe he had already leveled up. After charging the points into Chao Yuliang's membership card, Chao Yuliang and Chen Jinping left the Warrior Guild in a hurry. Chao Yuliang didn't have many points on his card. He had spent most of them previously. This was a windfall. The two of them returned to the car and sent Li Shanning to the hotel. They had to go back first. Li Shanning needed some time to plan when he contacted the racing team. He would contact them when there was news. Sun Yuming returned to the Sun family with injuries all over his body. As soon as he got out of the car, he collapsed on the ground and couldn't stand up for a long time. First, it was because of the injuries on his body. Second, it was because he was scared. He almost didn't kill Chen Jinping and died there. Yuming, what's wrong? Sun Xiaonong was taking a walk in the house to relax. Too many tragedies had happened in the past few days. He was in a bad mood, so he was waiting for the good news from Sun Yuming. In the end, Sun Yuming came back, but no matter how he looked at it, it looked like he returned in failure. Father, Protector Lu is dead, and I'm seriously injured. My penis was kicked, and I don't know if it's still working, but that's not important. I almost didn't come back. Sun Yuming gritted his teeth and said, What happened? Isn't bodyguard Lu a Stage 6 martial artist? How did he die? Sun Xiaonong was stunned. Chen Jinping has an expert with him. He is also a Stage 6 martial artist. He is only slightly weaker than bodyguard Lu, Sun Yuming said. Slightly weaker? Then how did he get killed? Sun Xiaonong was even more puzzled. This is what happened at the time. Sun Yuming explained the situation and then said, Originally, bodyguard Lu won. Who would have thought that Chao Yuliang had been hiding his strength? He was actually a martial artist at the peak of Stage 3 of inner power. He suddenly attacked and killed bodyguard Lu. So this Chao Yuliang is quite insidious. Sun Xiaonong's face changed after listening. These aristocratic children are really not simple. They can actually hide for so long and so deep. They are really good. You lost. It's not an injustice. Father, I suspect that the death of Rong Jin and Rong Qin may be related to Chen Jinping. Sun Yuming suddenly said. What do you mean? Sun Xiaonong asked quickly. Chen Jinping said before that he wanted our Sun family to have no descendants, To have the Sun family exterminated. Sun Yuming said, I thought of this at once. You say, how can there be such a coincidence in the world? How can two people die on horseback? Oh, come on. Gather everyone for a meeting immediately. There is an important matter to discuss. Sun Xiaonong felt that Sun Yuming's analysis was reasonable. But whether this matter was true or not, he still had to hold a meeting to discuss it. Moreover, he also had to ask Medicine Master Sun if it was possible to make people die on horseback. Yes, a patrolling guard of the Sun family heard Sun Xiaonong's words and immediately ordered the other guards to call people. It didn't take long for Sun Yuli to come over. Sun Yukai also followed, but Sun Yumao and Chinifuo did not come. This made Old Man Sun a little annoyed. Why, Chinifuo is just in charge of some family business on the first day, and you are so arrogant. Why didn't Chinifuo and Yumao come? Old Man Sun asked with a cold snort. However, at this time, a guard ran over in a panic and shouted, Master Sun, it's not good. Chinifuo, he. What happened to Chinifuo? He didn't come? Sun Xiaonong said angrily. No, Chinifuo, he is dead. The guard gasped for breath and said, Miss Yume is crying. Old Master Sun, you, go and take a look. What? Chinifuo is dead? How did he die? Sun Xiaonong was suddenly stunned. Chinifuo was fine. How did he die? Sun Yuming and Sun Yuli were also stunned. Even Medicine Master Sun was extremely surprised. However, this guard wouldn't talk nonsense. Sun Xiaonong quickly walked to Sun Yumao's villa. Just as he walked to the front of the villa, he heard Sun Yumao's ghostly cries. Sun Xiaonong frowned, pushed the door and walked in. Chapter 244. When he found the room where Sun Yumao was, he saw that Sun Yumao was only covered with a thin quilt at this moment. Obviously, he was not wearing any clothes inside, while Chun Iofo was lying on the bed naked, motionless. His lower body was a mess, with a large pile of red and white, which was very horrible. Sun Yumao didn't need to say anything. The rest of the Sun family knew how Chun Iofo died. Wind on horseback, it was really wind on horseback again. 1 death was an accident, 2 deaths were a coincidence, 3 deaths. What was that? Everyone in the Sun family, including Sun Ruo, felt a chill as if they had fallen into an ice cellar. 3, was it still a coincidence? Even a stupid person would think that there was something wrong with this. Yumao, what happened? Sun Xiaonong took a deep breath and asked. Dad, isn't it because Iofo was finally put in an important position by the family? He also did 2 big things today. I was happy and planned to reward him tonight, so I made a full set. But when I was making it, who would have thought that he lost his virginity? And he lost his virginity. Sun Yumao said while crying. Sun Xiaonong really didn't know what to say, and he couldn't say anything. Was this a coincidence? He felt that it wasn't. Did Iofo meet Qin Jinping today? No, I didn't hear him say that. Sun Yumao shook his head. Check it out. Get the footage from his car recorder, and see where he went today. See if he met Qin Jinping. Sun Xiaonong took a deep breath and ordered Sun Yuli. Yuli, you are in charge of this matter. Yes. Sun Yuli also wanted to find out the truth as soon as possible. Wasn't this too scary? The Sun family inexplicably died one by one from wind on horseback. Wasn't this making people sleepless? Who knew who would be the next one? After Sun Yuli went out, Sun Xiaonong said to Medicine Master Sun, Yukai, take a look at Iofo's situation. Was it natural, or was it done by someone? Think about it. Is it possible to cause someone to die from wind on horseback? Based on my many years of experience as a pharmacist, it's possible to kill a person from a gust of wind on a horse. However, the person performing the technique must be present to seal the acupuncture points. Pharmacist Sun walked toward Chun Iotafor as he spoke. He was ready to do a checkup. Is there no other way? For example, poisoning? Sun Xiaonong thought for a moment and asked. Poisoning is also unlikely. As far as I know, there is no such poison that can create such an effect. If poison could create such an effect, the method would have been spread long ago. Besides, other than our family, I have rarely heard of anyone dying like this. Medicine Master Sun shook his head. After checking Chun Iotafor's condition, he said, There's no problem. From the current situation, It should really be an accident and a coincidence. This isn't quite possible, right? Sun Xiaonong couldn't believe it. To be honest, I don't believe it either, but based on the current situation, Uncle, he really died from an accident on horseback, Medicine Master Sun said with certainty. Unless there's some unknown method involved. All right. Sun Xiaonong took a deep breath and said, next, you can treat Mingyu. As for the iodophore, that's it. At this moment, Sun Xiaonong seemed to be a lot more haggard. Even Medicine Master Sun couldn't see the problem. How clever was the person who did it? Now Old Man Sun was sure that someone must have done something to him. Sun Rongjin was an accident, and Sun Rongqin was a coincidence. Perhaps the two brothers had some invisible family hereditary disease. But now Chen Iodophore was an outsider. How could he die immediately? Previously, Old Man Sun had executed Xiao Li and the two young models. Now Chen Iodophore had died because of his daughter. He couldn't possibly kill his daughter to vent his anger, right? Therefore, Old Man Sun couldn't vent his anger in his chest, and he was also very worried. Although he was old, he usually practiced martial arts. Even though he wouldn't have much success at this age, his need for convenience still hadn't declined. Usually, he liked to secretly have a young model and so on. But from now on, how could he dare to do that? Wasn't he just waiting to die? Who knew if he would also die from the wind on the horse? Sun Yoming's injury wasn't particularly serious. After Sun Yukai treated him, there were no more problems. Most of the force from Brother Hey Crazy's kick was removed by Sun family's bodyguard Lu. Although he was in pain, it was actually because the part that was attacked was too weak. In the Sun family's conference room, the atmosphere was hazy. Sun Xiaonong looked at the people present. In a short period of time, Sun Rongjin, Sun Rongqin, and Chen Iodophore were dead. Who would be next? Okay, everyone analyze it. I don't think the wind on the horse is an accident. It seems to be a conspiracy against our Sun family. Sun Xiaonong said. But our family didn't offend the Chen family before. The only conflict was between Rongjin and Xiao Chen. Xiao Chen didn't say anything. Why did Chen Jinping show off? From what Big Brother said, although Chen Jinping is suspicious, what he said was most likely said out of anger. It might not be taken seriously. Sun Yuli said. Moreover, with Chen Jinping's ability, I don't think he has such means. If he had such means, why would he be someone's follower? If you were so powerful, do you think you would be someone's follower? I don't think it's possible either. Pharmacist Sun nodded and said. If someone with such means goes to the warrior guild, his status will definitely not be lower than mine. I still think it's very likely that it's Chen Jinping. Didn't you see how arrogant he was at that time? If he didn't have someone to rely on, would he act like that? Sun Yukai said. From what you said, Chen Jinping relied on his father Chen Huanling. Apart from that, he is also Chao Yuliang's follower. I think the most likely person is Chao Yuliang. Sun Yukai said. A person who can endure for more than 10 years. What kind of mentality and means does he have? Maybe Chao Yuliang has some trump card. Then what should we do next? Declare war on the Chao family or the Chen family? Sun Yukai gritted his teeth and wanted revenge. Silly. Sun Xiaonong said. Tonight, you intercepted the Sun family and wanted to kill Chen Jinping. We don't even know if the Chen family will attack our Sun family. And we still want to declare war on them? You know, Chen Jinping's father is Chen Huanling, the vice president of the warrior guild. Will he tolerate someone assassinating his son? Sun Yukai was shocked. Indeed, he was a little blind before. After carefully thinking about the pros and cons, how could the Chen family escape? However, he still said, isn't it because the Chen family robbed us first? If they didn't make the first move, would we have been able to? They only robbed, they didn't kill anyone. We don't know how the wind came about. It's hard to say if it was the Chen family's doing. Without permission, our Sun family has a potential enemy. Sun Xiaonong snorted and said, if Chen Huanling interfered, even if our Sun family had Yotsai's help, our days would definitely be difficult. Not to mention suppressing the Xie family. The Xie family might even take this opportunity to develop. Xie family? Sun Xiaonong's words made Sun Yukai wake up a little. Father, do you think it was the Xie family who did this? Xie family? Why do you say that? Sun Xiaonong asked. I don't know if you have noticed, but whether it was Rong Jin, Rong Qin, or brother-in-law, they all died not long after taking over the business of the Warriors Market and the Sun family. They all died on the wind. If they died, who would benefit the most? It's the Xie family. Sun Yukai analyzed. Xie family. Now that you mention it, it's really suspicious. But how did the Xie family do it? If they had this kind of method, they wouldn't have been suppressed by us. When you were in charge of the Warriors Market, they should have made a move on you. Why did they wait until Rong Jin? Elder Sun still didn't believe that the Xie family had such a method. If that was really the case, then the Sun family could forget about their business in the future. They had offended the Chen family, and the Xie family was like a tiger watching its prey. How could they develop the Warriors Market business? They should just focus on their own business. The Sun family discussed for a long time, but they couldn't come to a conclusion. The conclusion they came to was to observe the situation first. The Warriors Market business would be suspended to see the attitude of the Chen family, and to see if more people from the Sun family would die. Chen family. After Chen Jinping returned home, he told Chen Huanling and Chen Wuxian about what happened today. Bang! Chen Wuxian slammed the table. He was furious. What's wrong with the Sun family? Just because of such a small matter, they want to assassinate you? Do they want our Chen family to have no descendants? Father, I also think that the Sun family has gone too far. I heard that they have been infiltrating the Warriors Market's medicinal herb business. I didn't pay much attention to it, but now it seems that I have to use some means. Chen Huanling said angrily. The third generation of the Chen family only had Chen Jinping. If something went wrong, the Chen family would be finished. It was unrealistic to let Chen Jiantian and Chen Huanling have another child. Well, you start from there. I will also contact the Chao family. When the time comes, we will unite and teach the Sun family a lesson. Chen Wuxian sneered. They are just a small business family. Do they really think that they are powerful enough to replace the Xie family? After that, Chen Wuxian was ready to call the Chao family to discuss the matter. Chen Jinping went ahead to inform Chao Yuliang. If the Chen family and the Chao family united, the Sun family would have to kneel down no matter how powerful they were. Xiao Chen didn't know that so many things had happened that night. The next morning, he went to Tang Tang's home to see her. Because she was sick, there was no need to go to the stall. Chapter 245. Tang Tang hadn't woken up yet, but her complexion was much better than before. She was still sleeping soundly. According to the Elder Heaven Ancestor, she should be in the process of detoxification. She would be fine once all the toxins in her body were expelled. Xiao Chen was relieved to see that Tang Tang was fine. After leaving Tang Tang's room, Xiao Chen glanced at the time and ran in the direction of the antique street. Today was the school's physical examination day, and Xiao Chen didn't want to waste any time. It didn't matter to him whether it was a physical examination or not. At the same time, in the Little Hong drugstore, the shopkeeper of the Songming branch of the Hong Chamber of Commerce, Qi Mucheng, was standing respectfully in front of Hong Zhu. Miss Zhu, this is what you asked me to investigate. As he spoke, Tai Mucheng handed a stack of papers to Hong Zhu. Thank you for your hard work, Uncle Tai. Hong Zhu nodded, took the papers and looked through them carefully. If Xiao Chen was here, he would definitely be very surprised, because the content of the information was actually about Xiao Chen. It could be said that all the information about Xiao Chen from his birth to the present was on it. However, Hong Zhu was a little disappointed when she finished looking through it. The information was basically the same as what she had seen before. There was nothing useful at all. It was written that Xiao Chen was a good-for-nothing. But was the Xiao Chen she knew a good-for-nothing? Seeing Hong Zhu frown, Tai Mucheng's heart suddenly tightened. Miss Zhu, is there something wrong? Uncle Tai, is there any more in-depth information? For example, what did Xiao Chen do every day? What happened? Can you find someone to find out? Hong Zhu asked. Yes, but only in the near future, Tai Mucheng said. Tai Mucheng said, we won't be able to find out anything further than that. At most, we can find out what happened after Xiao Chen was chased out of the Xiao clan. That's fine too. Hongzhu nodded. Suddenly his expression changed. He looked at Gu Mucheng with some seriousness and said, Gu Mucheng, are you the person in charge of the Hongying Group's Songming branch? Tai Mucheng was taken aback at first, because Hongzhu had addressed him as Uncle Tai before this. Even if Hongzhu's status was there, he Tai Mucheng was also an elder of the Hong clan. As a junior, Hongzhu could not directly address him by his name. This was the most basic form of respect and politeness. However, even though Tai Mucheng was a little uncomfortable, he did not voice it out. However, when he heard the latter half of Hongzhu's words, his heart immediately shivered. The Hongying Group was the most mysterious organization in the Hong Clan Merchant Association. It was similar to an intelligence organization and a supervisory organization. The intelligence organization was responsible for gathering information on cultivators from all over the world and sending it to the headquarters of the Hong clan. For example, where a peerless genius had appeared, or where a new family had risen. These were all things that the Hong family needed to know. As the largest merchant association that supplied cultivation materials, the Hong family had been able to stand tall for thousands of years because they had their own capabilities. Secretly befriending newcomers and families with potential was an important job. Back then, if it was not for the fact that Hong Zhong, who was currently in charge of this branch of the Hong clan, had befriended a newcomer with potential, the Hong family would have truly become history. However, Hong Zhong had relied on their friendship to invite that newcomer, who had already become the #1 in the world, to help out. Only then were the difficulties resolved. Therefore, befriending newcomers with potential also became part of the training of the Hong Clan Merchant Association. The Hongying Group was in charge of this mission. As for the supervisory duty, it was to monitor the accounts of the Hong Clan Merchant Association and prevent anyone from stuffing their own pockets. Usually, only one shopkeeper would be selected by the Hongying Group out of many branches. This person was undoubtedly the most loyal to the Hong clan. Only those who were loyal to the Hong clan were qualified for this responsibility. In fact, Tai Mucheng had known about Hongzhu stuffing his own pockets previously, but he had cooperated. This was actually because of his loyalty to the Hong clan. Hongzhu was this generation's direct descendant of the Hong clan. Treating her was equivalent to treating the Hong clan. Therefore, Tai Mucheng had not reported this matter to the higher-ups. However, now that Hongzhu had pointed out his identity, Tai Mucheng was extremely shocked. Apart from the current chairman of the Hong Clan Merchant Association, who was also the head of the Hong family, only the leader of the Hongying Group, Hong Ying, knew about this identity. Even the members of Hong Ying's team didn't know. They only got in touch with Hong Ying through special channels. Moreover, these people rarely saw Hong Ying's real face. They only knew that Hong Ying was an outstanding descendant of the Hong family, that the president had specially nurtured all these years. However, it was a little strange that Hongzhu knew about this matter. Although Tai Mucheng also knew that Hong Yen and Hongzhu were the granddaughters that the chairman doted on the most, there were not many descendants of the Hong clan who were allowed to enter and leave the secular city. Hong Yen and Hongzhu were exceptions. I know about the matter of the shopkeeper of the Boundless Province branch secretly colluding with the supplier, Hongzhu said indifferently. Continue to collect evidence. Tai Mucheng, you've done well. Ah! Tai Mucheng was completely stunned. His entire body trembled. Then he immediately knelt on one knee and said respectfully, Subordinate Tai Mucheng greets Hong Ying. Get up. Hongzhu waved his hand. In front of outsiders, you are still Uncle Tai. This subordinate understands. This time, Tai Mucheng did not have the slightest bit of dissatisfaction. Regardless of whether Hongzhu was his backer or not, he was Hong Ying, which meant that he was his immediate superior. When it came to Hong Ying, all of them were extremely respectful. Xiao Chen, list him as an important person to befriend and observe, Hongzhu said to Tai Mucheng as he placed the information in his hands on the table. Yes, Tai Mucheng was a little puzzled. What did this Xiao Chen do to deserve this? Previously, he had thought that it was already very impressive for him to attract Miss Zhu's attention. He had not expected that he had attracted Hong Ying's attention instead. Furthermore, Being listed as an important person to befriend and observe meant that the treatment that Xiao Chen enjoyed in the Warrior Guild and the Warrior City Square would immediately be upgraded to a VIP member. Of course, this also needed to be done step by step, and at the right time. If he suddenly went to Xiao Chen and said, "I am Qi Mucheng, the shopkeeper of the Songning branch of the Hong Chamber of Commerce. I will give you a VIP membership card." Then, Xiao Chen would definitely think that he was either crazy or a swindler, or that he was plotting something. Do as you see fit. Hong Zhu suddenly recalled that Xiao Chen had been humiliated by Chen Iodophor when he was buying medicine. He suddenly asked, "What about this Chen Iodophor?" Chen Iodophor? Qi Mucheng was stunned for a moment before he remembered who it was. If he had not been investigating Xiao Chen recently, he would not have paid attention to who Chen Iodophor was. This person is the son-in-law of the Sun family in a neighboring city. However, I heard that he had contracted horse stroke and died last night. Although it was a little inelegant to say that he was on horseback to Miss Zhu, Tai Mucheng recalled that Hong Zhu's other identity was Hong Ying, so he didn't mind it at all. He had also handed over the photos of some of the suppliers who had been caught bribing the branch managers to Hong Ying. He reckoned that Hong Ying had already gotten used to it. Horse stroke, huh? What a strange way to die. Hong Zhu was stunned. She had long known that Chen Iodophor was going to die, but she did not know exactly how he had died. Now that she heard Qi Mucheng say this, she felt that it was rather strange. Speaking of which, it is strange. 3 people from the Sun family have already died, and they were all killed by horse stroke. After paying attention to Chen Iodophor, Tai Mucheng also paid attention to the Sun family. This was already a habit of his, after so many years of intelligence work. Oh, 3 people died? This thing is contagious. Hong Zhu was even more surprised. What happened? Can you tell me? Yes. Tai Mucheng nodded, cleared his throat, and told Hong Zhu about what had happened to the Sun family during this period of time. That's strange. Then you should investigate how these 3 people died. This is the first time I've heard that horse stroke can be contagious. It's most likely that someone did something underhanded. Hong Zhu said, "It can actually cause people to die by horse stroke. How awesome. Which demonic sex technique is this?" "Yes, this subordinate understands." Tai Mucheng responded, "All right, you can go back. This Sun family is too unlucky. Don't do business with them in the future." Hong Zhu's casual words had caused the Sun family to die. "All right, I'll go back and pass down the instructions." Tai Mucheng nodded. If Hong Zhu had spoken to Tai Mucheng with her identity as Miss Zhu, Tai Mucheng would definitely not have agreed. However, under the circumstances that it did not violate her choice, Tai Mucheng would not object to letting Hong Zhu earn some money. After all, it would not harm the interests of the Warrior Guild. Regardless of whether it was stolen goods or not, the value of the goods was there, and the Warrior Guild would not suffer a loss. However, stopping suppliers from supplying goods involved their interests. Even if Hong Zhu was a member of the Hong family, it would not be allowed, because she could not represent the Hong family. However, Hong Ying was different. Actually, everyone understood that the core figure of the Hong family was President Hong. Although the other vice presidents were also very powerful and impressive, the one with the most authority was none other than Hong Ying, the head of intelligence who had the power to monitor life and death. Hong Ying had spoken. There was a problem with the supplier, and Tai Mucheng had to carry it out unconditionally. After sending Tai Mucheng off, Hong Zhu yawned and returned to her previous lazy and seductive appearance. She supported her chin with one hand and read a book in boredom. "Xiao Chen, oh Xiao Chen, you've really hidden yourself well. I didn't find anything even after investigating you again. Which sect are you a disciple of?" "Chen Iodophor's horse stroke. Don't tell me you're the one who caused it?" Previously, Hong Zhu did not suspect anything. She only thought that Xiao Chen could see the black aura on Chen Iodophor's forehead like her. However, ever since she found out about the conflict between Xiao Chen and Chen Iodophor at the entrance of the Warriors' Market, Hong Zhu suspected that it might be that brat Xiao Chen's doing. Otherwise, with Xiao Chen's strength, would he be able to tolerate being stepped on like that without retaliating? She then thought about what Xiao Chen said last night. He mocked Chun Iafu for being very useful, but he also told him to be careful, and that he might die if he used it too much. Chapter 246. At first, Hongzhu thought it was a joke, because she couldn't tell how Chun Iotafor would die. But Xiao Chun knew. Even if Xiao Chun could see the black gas, he couldn't predict it so accurately. Therefore, this guy was the biggest suspect. You are my little Hongzhu, no matter how smart you are, it's never too much. Hongzhu found that she had sorted out some of the clues and happily hummed a little song. She found that she was really more and more interested in Xiao Chun. Originally, the purpose of coming here was very simple, but now, she seemed to be able to discover more things. Xiao Chun ran to the antique street. Not only were there all kinds of antiques, but there were also all kinds of jade wares for sale. Generally, precious jade wares wouldn't be sold in bulk at the counter of the shopping mall. They were all sold here as treasures. The antique street opened very early. It was the custom of Songning City to open early and close early. Every antique market had its own customs, and some places liked to have night markets. Xiao Chun walked from shop to shop. There were many antiques here. Although there were also jade wares in antique shops, there were very few that Xiao Chun needed. In addition, although some of the jade wares were well made, they were actually fakes. They could deceive people who didn't know the industry, but Xiao Chun just touched them casually and stopped looking. There was no spiritual energy in them. This kind of goods, even if it was the real one, Xiao Chun wouldn't need it, not to mention it was fake. Although the spiritual energy in the real jade wares was extremely low, Xiao Chun could still feel it. However, there was no trace of fake jade wares. There were a few jade shops on the antique street, but after Xiao Chun went in, he didn't see any jade wares that he liked. Sure enough, as the Elder Heaven Ancestor said, it was really difficult to find jade full of spiritual energy, let alone ordinary jade wares. This was the last jade artifact shop. Xiao Chun walked out with some disappointment. These jade artifacts were not spirit jades. At the very least, they were not spirit jades on display at the moment. It seems that I have to go to more advanced places in the future, Xiao Chun thought. As he was about to leave, Xiao Chun suddenly felt someone patting him from behind. He looked back and saw a middle-aged man with a somewhat shrewd appearance. What's the matter? Xiao Chun looked at the person in front of him. He didn't know the person in front of him. Little brother, do you want to buy jade? The shrewd man asked in a low voice. How do you know? Xiao Chun frowned and asked. Little brother, I've been observing you for a long time. You obviously didn't come here to look at the jade wares. You don't have the patience to look at the jade wares. So you must want to buy it, but you haven't found the one you like. Am I right? The shrewd man saw these customers very accurately and hit the nail on the head. You're right, but who are you? Xiao Chun looked at the man and asked with some vigilance. You can call me Old Wu. I'm the owner of the Zhenzhen boutique over there. The shrewd man was the owner of the Zhenzhen boutique, Wang Wei. However, Wang Wei was his name in secret. In this antique street, his identity was Old Wu. Zhenzhen boutique? Xiao Chun glanced at the direction that Wang Wei was pointing at, and suddenly lost interest. He turned around and was about to leave. Hey little brother, don't go. Wang Wei grabbed Xiao Chun. What? Don't you know what kind of goods you have? I don't beat around the bush. I've been to so many shops. Do you think I'm a rookie who doesn't know anything? Xiao Chun rolled his eyes. Most of the jade wares in this Zhenzhen boutique were fake. There was no spiritual qi in them. They might be able to fool others, but not Xiao Chun. Haha, I told you little brother, you know your stuff. When Wang Wei heard Xiao Chun's words, he didn't get angry. Instead he laughed. I can't fool you. Little brother, you look like an expert. How can I fool you? Oh, Xiao Chun stopped. You have good stuff. I definitely have good stuff, but it depends on whether little brother dares to take it. Wang Wei said mysteriously. What do you mean? Is there a problem with the source? Xiao Chun suddenly thought of this situation, because he had just robbed the Sun family's cart of medicinal herbs. It's from a tomb raider. Wang Wei lowered his voice. Can I take a look? Lead the way. Xiao Chun nodded immediately. Wang Wei was very good at reading people. He knew clearly who really wanted to buy things, and who was pretending. In his opinion, Xiao Chun was a customer who really knew his stuff. It just so happened that Wang Wei had a few pieces of good stuff in his hands. However, they were antiques from tomb raiding, so it wasn't easy to sell them. He could only sell them to people who really wanted them and knew their stuff. After entering Jinjin Boutique, Wang Wei brought Xiao Chun to a private room upstairs. Then he poured a cup of tea for Xiao Chun and said, "Little brother, wait a moment. I'll go get it." Xiao Chun nodded. He picked up the teacup and sniffed it. He asked in his heart, "Elder Heaven Ancestor, is there a problem with this tea?" "I don't think there's a problem. Why don't you try it?" Elder Heaven Ancestor said. "Forget it." Hearing Elder Heaven Ancestor's tone, he wasn't sure, so Xiao Chun didn't want to take the risk. However, after a while, Wang Wei came back with a small box in his hand. He placed it directly on the coffee table in front of Xiao Chun, opened it and said, "Little brother, please have a look." Wang Wei was also a martial artist, so he wasn't worried that someone would rob him. After all, in the secular world, the frequency of martial artists appearing was still very low. Only in the martial artists' own circle would you often see martial artists. This was actually the same reason why the rich were surrounded by rich people. It was undeniable that the box was filled with good stuff. Just from the appearance, one could tell that it wasn't ordinary. Xiao Chun reached out and scanned the jade in the box one by one. Finally, his eyes stopped on a jade ring. Spiritual jade. Xiao Chun's heart was about to jump out at this moment. This was definitely a spiritual jade. Although the spiritual energy inside was not as high as the jade, it was already very good. Xiao Chun didn't hide the fact that he wanted to buy which one he didn't want to buy. After all, everyone who could sit here and look at the goods was a sensible person. Xiao Chun directly picked up the jade thumb ring and played with it in his hand. "Little brother, you have good eyesight." This jade ring, according to legend, was used by the first assistant minister of the X dynasty and the first warrior, X Bai. Wang Wei began to explain. This jade ring is quite difficult to get. It is said that this jade ring has the effect of aiding martial arts. Alright, don't say so much useless stuff. Everyone here is smart. Legends and whatnot are not important. What I'm looking at is the quality. Xiao Chun waved his hand impatiently and interrupted Wang Wei's words. An item used by a dead person is extremely unlucky, and you still think it's a good thing. How much is it? Name a price. This 5 million. Wang Wei stretched out 5 fingers. 5 million? Xiao Chun frowned. To be honest, 5 million was not a lot. Not only was it not a lot, but it was also extremely cheap. However, it also depended on how they were compared. Don't think that Xiao Chun was just a playboy in the past, but he had also followed Chen Jinping to the Azure Sea Heavenly Palace before. An antique jade thumb ring was only worth 30 to 50,000. How could it be 5 million? Of course, if he bought it according to the spiritual jade, it would not be expensive. A set of medicinal herbs cost 3 million. A spiritual jade was only worth 5 million. It was really very cheap. Little brother, you are also an expert. You can tell that this is the real thing, right? Wang Wei looked at Xiao Chun's expression and said with some uncertainty, "The real thing? Shame on you. Do you think I'm a big shot?" Xiao Chun slammed the jade ring on the coffee table. He was not afraid of breaking it. He sneered and said, "A jade ring is worth 30 to 50,000. This 5 million is 100 times more. Is it gold-rimmed or imported from Mars?" Wang Wei smiled bitterly. He knew that he had met an expert. He could only explain. An ordinary jade ring is naturally only worth 30 to 50,000. However, look at the jade rings used by ancient emperors. There are even those that are sold for tens of millions. This was used by a minister. 5 million is not a high price, right? Do you have an appraisal report? Do you have an expert to verify it? Do you think I will believe you just because you tell me? Buying illegal goods is just a gamble. I can buy it at an auction with this price. Xiao Chun waved his hand and said, "I'll give you 1 million. Sell it or not. This 2 million. Little brother, isn't your bargaining a bit too much?" Wang Wei smiled bitterly. "Then keep it." Xiao Chun stood up and prepared to leave. "Alright, I'll give it to you." In fact, in Wang Wei's opinion, 1 million was not a small amount. Illegal goods should not be exposed to the public. If it could be sold, it would be a profit. Some things should not be displayed casually and could not be appraised. Don't think that there were no fakes in ancient tombs. There were fakes in ancient times. Xiaochen swiped an anonymous bank card. After swiping, he took the jade ring and prepared to leave. Wait, little brother. Wang Wei thought for a moment and stopped Xiaochen. Is there anything else? Xiaochen asked. Little brother, do you like jade rings? If I have something similar, do you still want it? Wang Wei asked. Not necessarily. It depends on the color. Xiaochen did not buy everything. It had to contain spiritual energy. It was not enough just because it looked the same. Help me keep an eye out for it. I will come back after a while. However, it doesn't have to be a jade ring. Any kind of jade is fine, but it's best if it was used by ancient masters. For example, this jade ring from the first warrior. Alright, I understand. Little brother, it turns out that you like to collect things that people used. Wang Wei nodded his head confidently. Xiaochen did not stay for long. He quickly left the antique street and planned to go home to cultivate. Anyway, the school's physical examination might not end in the morning. He had to hurry up. Who knew when the Witch of West Mountain would appear? After running back to the villa, Xiaochen locked himself in his room. He picked up the jade ring and began to cultivate. At the school, the physical examination had also begun. Yu Xiaochuan hid in the blood collection room excitedly and stared at the results of each test sheet. He was full of anticipation. Chapter 247. In order to see the test results as soon as possible, Yu Xiaochuan arranged for the girls to have their blood tested first, while the boys went to check other items first. The morning passed quickly, and most of the girls had been checked. There was only one fat girl who looked terrible. Yu Xiaochuan slapped his forehead. Damn it, please don't let it be this one. But in his heart, he was hoping that it would be her. Anyway, he could get rid of her after using her for a while. It didn't matter if she was a little fat, as long as it wasn't Jean Bebe. If it was Jean Bebe, it would be really difficult for him. If he married her, his life would be ruined. Moreover, he couldn't get rid of her easily. It would be better to castrate himself. However, the fat girl's result was also not her, which made Yu Xiaochuan very disappointed. As expected, women with mysterious body were not so common. Not to mention a school. They might not even be found in a city. Although Yu Xiaochuan was not surprised by the result, it was still a headache to find the next step. Yu Xiaochuan didn't care about the physical examination in the afternoon. He paid the money and left the hospital. Director Su was a little confused about Yu Xiaochuan's behavior of paying the money, but not having a physical examination. However, Yu Xiaochuan was so rich that he must have finished the physical examination in advance, so he didn't have to wait in line with others. Since he had nothing to do, Yu Xiaochuan planned to go to the Warrior Guild to see if there was any news about the woman with mysterious body. In the Warrior Guild, Yu Xiaochuan was familiar with Medicine Master Sunday. Yu Xiaochuan had asked him to make medicinal materials before, so he was an acquaintance. He had called him once because of Tang Tang. Therefore, Yu Xiaochuan went directly to Medicine Master Sun's office. Young Master Sun, you're here. Medicine Master Sun respected Yu Xiaochuan. After all, even if the Sun family became an aristocratic family, they had to maintain a good relationship with other aristocratic families. Now they had become enemies with the Chao family and the Chen family. Although Xiao Chun was no longer a member of the Xiao family, it was not very likely for him to be on good terms with the Xiao family. Yu Xiaochuan was known as the leader of the young generation and a gentleman. It would be beneficial for the Sun family's development in the future to make friends with him. Therefore, Medicine Master Sun stood up and greeted him. Haha, Medicine Master Sun, you're too kind. I'm just here to take a look. Please have a seat. Yu Xiaochuan was flattered by Medicine Master Sun's politeness. It should be known that an apothecary was very important to a clan. Although the elixirs used by cultivators could be bought in the warrior city square, they were all general-purpose medicinal herbs. With an apothecary, they could make different adjustments to different cultivators, making the elixirs more suitable for their own needs. This was also what the Sun family cultivated later on. The members of the Sun family also stepped into the ranks of martial artists to varying degrees. It was all because Medicine Master Sun concocted spirit herbs for them to temper their bodies and cultivate. Young Master Kun, are you here for Tang Tang? Medicine Master Sun thought about it, and felt that he had to give you Xiaochuan some face. However, he was not willing to treat Xiaochun's girlfriend. That Xiaochun had a grudge against the Sun family. Oh that? Forget about it. Yu Xiaochuan waved his hand and said, I came here because I have something else to do. What is it? Tell me, young Master Kun. I'll see if I can help. Medicine Master Sun breathed a sigh of relief. As long as he did not have to treat Tang Tang and bow down to Xiaochun, everything else would be fine. Well, I wonder if Medicine Master Sun has heard of Mysterious Een Woman? Yu Xiaochuan asked. Mysterious Een Woman? A woman with mysterious Een body? Medicine Master Sun was slightly stunned and said, Young Master Kun, why are you asking about this? Although women with mysterious Een body are rare, they are of no use to us martial artists. Moreover, women with this body are usually unlucky. Unless the man is tough, no one will touch this kind of woman. Oh, I'm just curious and want to find out. Yu Xiaochuan did not care about unlucky things. Once he mastered the Chrysanthemum treasure book, he would be invincible in the world. Bad luck would not matter. Women with this kind of body are hard to find. I'm afraid I can't help you with this. Medicine Master Sun shook his head. This was beyond his ability. Oh, Yu Xiaochuan was a little disappointed and then said, By the way, you're a medicine master, so you should know the art of medicine. Say, if I want to test the blood of some women, what's the best reason to look for them? Moreover, they won't be easily detected. Yu Xiaochuan did not hide any of this. Even if he were to look for the Lady of Mysterious Een, no one would suspect anything. Just like the current Medicine Master Sun, he could not link it to the Chrysanthemum treasure book. Even if Grandfather Tang found out, he would not link it to this. Blood test? This, young Master Kun, I'm not good at scheming. Medicine Master Sun thought for a moment and said, If you don't mind, I can introduce you to someone from the streets. This person has some intelligence. You can ask him. All right, thank you. Yu Xiaochuan nodded. Medicine Master Sun picked up the phone and dialed a number. After a while, Red Hair walked in. When he saw Medicine Master Sun, he said respectfully, Master. Medicine Master Sun had already accepted Red Hair as an in-name disciple. Red Hair, since you have nothing to do now, follow young Master Kun for a few days. Young Master Kun needs someone with intelligence, and I think you can do it. Thank you for your recommendation, Master. Red Hair will definitely do his best to assist young Master Kun. Red Hair was overjoyed. He had just lost his job, and thought that he had no future. He could no longer live such a good life, and he had to return to the street to live the life of a gangster. That was really miserable. If there was no comparison, Red Hair felt that his previous life was already very free and easy. He often extorted hawkers and earned some money, but compared to now, it was really child's play. Following young Master Jean and young Master Qin, not only did he have good food and drinks, but he also had women to play with, and they were all top-grade women. Unexpectedly, another young master came and accepted him as a follower. It was really not bad. Your name is Red Hair? Yu Xiaochuan looked at Red Hair and asked. Young Master Kun, my name is Lu Litsao. Red Hair is my nickname. You can call me Red Hair. Red Hair nodded. Lu Litsao, this name of yours is really F***ed up. Yu Xiaochuan nodded and said, Okay, let me ask you. You said that I want to test the blood of some women. What is the best excuse to find them? And it's not easy to detect. Let me think about it. Red Hair was stunned. He didn't expect Yu Xiaochuan to ask such a question. However, in order to make Yu Xiaochuan value him, he had to answer even the most inexplicable question, and he had to do his best to answer. Therefore, he thought carefully for a long time. Finally, he patted his head and said, Young Master Kun, I have one. You have one. What do you have? Yu Xiaochuan was stunned by Red Hair's words. He almost spat it out. Have a child? I have an idea. Red Hair sweated. Then why aren't you saying it? Yu Xiaochuan asked. Okay, young Master Kun. Let's do it this way. You see, many girls nowadays like to pursue fame and fortune. Otherwise, why would those talent shows be so popular every time? Why would so many girls sign up for the audition? Red Hair said proudly. When the time comes, we can test their blood. This is reasonable. You mean that I should also organize such an event, and then test their blood? What reason should I use? Also, what benefits can the first prize winner get from this event? Yu Xiaochuan's eyes lit up after listening. Yes, we can plan an event. With young Master Kun's ability, it shouldn't be difficult, right? Although I still don't know young Master Kun's background. Those who can befriend Master are all high-level and powerful people. Red Hair said. As for the blood test, it's very simple. Many women are very impetuous nowadays. They are promiscuous in private and use drugs. We just need to check if they have AIDS or drugs. Such people can't participate in the competition. As for the reward, young Master Kun, you can do whatever you want. Young Master Kun's family should have a family business, right? When the time comes, you can give her an endorsement contract with the family business. It's worth tens of millions. Young Master Kun should have this money, right? You're not bad. Yu Xiaochuan nodded. Your idea is very feasible. Follow me from now on. You will be fully in charge of this event. When the time comes, help me with the audition. Okay, no problem. Red Hair was overjoyed. Yu Xiaochuan's words meant that he accepted him. Moreover, Yu Xiaochuan agreed to his suggestion without thinking. Then the Yu family's capital should be quite strong. Wait, Yu family? Could it be the aristocratic Yu family? Thinking of this, Red Hair subconsciously said, Young Master Kun, you are the Yu families. Yes, I am Yu Xiaochuan from the Yu family. Yu Xiaochuan nodded. Ah, so it really is. Young Master Kun, don't worry. I will do my best to assist you, Red Hair said as he patted his chest. As they were talking, the phone on Medicine Master Sun's table suddenly rang. Medicine Master Sun picked up the phone and only said one sentence. His expression instantly changed. What? Chun Wuxian called and wants our Sun family to give them an explanation? Medicine Master Sun frowned. This phone call was from Sun Xiaonong. He quickly said, All right, wait for me, uncle. I will be back immediately. With that, Medicine Master Sun said to Yu Xiaochuan and Red Hair, I have something to do, so I will leave first. Both of you can go back too. All right, Medicine Master Sun, I won't disturb you anymore. Seeing Medicine Master Sun's expression, Yu Xiaochuan knew that he probably had something important to do. The three of them left the warriors' market together and parted ways at the entrance. Red Hair followed Yu Xiaochuan to his Audi A6L. Young Master Kun, what should I do? Red Hair asked after getting in the car. I will give you a test standard. Find the person with the most values in her blood and predetermine her as first place, Yu Xiaochuan said. Chapter 248. All right, no problem. The red-haired man quickly nodded. Young Master Kun, are you looking for some unspoken rules? Yu Xiaochuan nodded. This was also considered an unspoken rule. He didn't intend to explain too much to the red-haired man. When the time came, he would just draw some blood and then have intercourse with it. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to say that it was an unspoken rule. All right then. What about drug addiction and STDs? Do you need to test them one by one? The red-haired man asked. Testing those also needs to be done separately. It will take some time. There's no need for that. It's just a formality. I'm mainly looking for women with such numbers. Yu Xiaochuan waved his hand. All right, then I'll start tomorrow? The red-haired man asked. Sure, do it as soon as possible. Yu Xiaochuan nodded. Martial God Chun was actually just a warning to the Sun family that they had gone overboard. They shouldn't think that they could do whatever they wanted with the support of a pharmacist. The Chen family wasn't to be trifled with. If anything really happened to Chen Jinping, it would be a fight to the death. The Chen family's backup plan was actually in the Warrior Guild. After Chen Huanling arrived at the Warrior Guild today, he went to the Warrior Market to visit the shopkeeper, Tai Macheng. Although the Warrior Market was built in cooperation between the Warrior Guild and the Hong family's commerce, only the president of the Warrior Guild and the shopkeeper could participate in the management. The vice president didn't have the right to interfere with the operation of the warrior market. Chen Huanling came here to discuss with Tai Muching, hoping that Tai Muching would give him some face. Shopkeeper Tai, I've been in this position for so long, but I haven't visited you yet. I'm sorry for my lack of manners. Didn't I find an opportunity to come? Chen Huanling's arrival surprised Tai Muching. Usually the vice president and the warrior market rarely interacted. The purpose was to avoid arousing suspicion. After all, this wasn't within their jurisdiction. Only the president could interfere. Haha, President Chen, what a rare guest. I wonder what advice you have for me. Tai Muching said politely. Although they weren't subordinates, they were colleagues. He had to give Tai Muching some face. As for Chen Huanling, apart from Chen Jingquan's death, it seemed that the Chen family's development was not bad. Especially the marriage with the Shen family. It would increase the Chen family's status once again. It might even become the #1 aristocratic family in Songming in the future. Therefore, the Chen family was also on Hong Ying's list. Tai Muching was also in charge of contacting them. How would I dare to guide you? Shopkeeper Tai should be the one guiding me. Chen Huanling smiled and said, since it's like this, I won't beat around the bush. I'll get straight to the point. I came here because I have a request for Manager Tai. Oh, what's the matter? Gui Muching asked curiously. He didn't think that the Chen family would ask him for anything. With Tai Muching's high-level membership card, there was no need for Tai Muching to interfere at all. It's like this. I heard that the Warriors Market Square is doing business with the Sun family of the neighboring city? Chen Huanling probed. That's right, there is such a matter. What do you mean, President Chen? Gui Muching asked calmly. This Sun family has a low moral character. They started off by swindling people. I hope that shopkeeper Tai won't do business with them. These people have no bottom line. Who knows if they will scam shopkeeper Tai? At this point, Chen Huanling paused for a moment and said, of course, I said so much because the Sun family and our Chen family have a grudge. I hope that shopkeeper Tai can give me some face. Chen Huanling's previous words were actually nothing more than fabrications. Although the Sun family had a low moral character, they wouldn't dare to swindle the warriors' market. They didn't have the guts to do so either. He only said all this to give Tai Muching a reason to get rid of the Sun family. Is that so? Tai Muching pretended to ponder. Actually, Tai Muching wouldn't agree so easily under normal circumstances. Even if the Chen family was one of the clans that he wanted to befriend, he still needed Hong Ying's final approval before he could make a decision. However, Hong Zhu had long since planned to get rid of the Sun family. Agreeing to Chen Huanling's request was just a small favor. After a while, he raised his head and said, it's rare for President Chen to ask, so I'll give you some face. Thank you, shopkeeper Tai. Chen Huanling originally thought that he would have to spend a lot of time persuading Tai Muching. Who would have thought that it would be settled with just a few words? Didn't they say that Tai Muching was selfless and wouldn't easily violate his principles? How come this time, no matter what, it was good that he agreed? Chen Huanling owed Tai Muching a favor. Since Chen Huanling's goal was achieved, he didn't stay any longer. Then I'll take my leave, shopkeeper Tai. All right. Take care, President Chen. Tai Muching nodded and dialed Medicine Master Sun's number. Who is it? Spit it out if you have something to say. Medicine Master Sun was in a hurry to drive back, so he used Bluetooth to answer the call. He didn't look at the caller ID and asked impatiently. I'm Tai Muching. Tai Muching frowned and said plainly. This Medicine Master Sun was getting more and more arrogant and despotic. If it wasn't for the fact that Medicine Master Go was the only one left in the warriors' market, Tai Muching really wouldn't want to use him. Shopkeeper Tai. Medicine Master Sun was shocked. He quickly stopped his car by the roadside and almost crashed into an electric pole. The Sun family's medicinal herbs are not up to standard. Don't bring them in again in the future. Tai Muching wanted to explain, but seeing Medicine Master Sun's attitude, he couldn't be bothered to explain anymore. Medicine Master Sun was stunned. The Sun family supplier status was revoked? How was that possible? Medicine Master Sun had put in a lot of effort to obtain this qualification. In the end, Tai Muching's words made it disappear? Could it be because of his disrespect just now? Thinking of this, Medicine Master Sun quickly said, I'm sorry, Shopkeeper Tai. I was driving just now and didn't know it was you calling. About the Sun family's medicinal herbs. The headquarters sent someone to do a spot check. The Sun family's medicinal herbs are not up to standard. Do you understand what I mean? Tai Muching said. Ah, I understand. Medicine Master Sun felt sad. Spot check by the headquarters? That was really bad luck. Not only that, the Sun family would probably be blacklisted by the entire warriors market. As for whether Tai Muching was spouting nonsense, it would be fine as long as they went to other warriors market to provide the bidding documents. If they were rejected directly, they would be blacklisted. Therefore, Tai Muching wouldn't lie to him about this. This made Medicine Master Sun feel like he had fallen into an ice cellar. However, when he came back to his senses, he quickly started his car and sped toward the Sun family. This news was much more serious than Martial God Chun asking for an explanation from the Sun family. To put it bluntly, the Sun family would be finished in the future. Medicine Master Sun hurried back to the Sun family and went straight to the meeting room. At this moment, the Sun family was already seated. When Sun Xiaonong saw Medicine Master Sun, he said, Yukai, this Chun family is too despicable. They can rob our medicinal herbs. But they want us to give an explanation when we dealt with Chen Jinpeng? Isn't this too much? Even the vice president of the Warriors Guild can't do this, right? Uncle, don't say any more. Let's put this matter aside for now. Something big happened at the Warriors Market. Medicine Master Sun waved his hand and said, What do you mean? What happened? Sun Xiaonong was stunned and asked. Shopkeeper Tai of the Warriors Market just informed me that the Sun family's supplier qualification has been cancelled. They said that our goods did not pass the spot check by the headquarters. Medicine Master Sun helplessly repeated Tai Muching's words to Sun Xiaonong. How could it be so coincidental? Our medicinal herbs are not particularly bad. Just a little worse than the Xie families. How could it be such a coincidence that the people from the headquarters came to do a spot check at this time? Sun Xiaonong was shocked. He stood up and cried out involuntarily. I'm also a little puzzled, but now that things have happened, we should think of a way. Medicine Master Sun said. I guess our Sun family will be blacklisted by the National Warriors Market. If we want to do business in the Warriors Market, it will be basically impossible. Could it be Chen Huanling? Sun Xiaonong suddenly said. Only he has a grudge against our Sun family. Yesterday, we just dealt with Chen Jinpeng, and today, our supplier qualification to the Warriors Market was cancelled. Isn't this too coincidental? Indeed. Medicine Master Sun nodded after listening. Uncle, if you didn't say it, I really wouldn't have thought that Chen Huanling wanted to mess with us. It's not difficult to apply for a spot check from the headquarters through Tai Muching. This is equivalent to killing our Sun family. There's no need to think about it. It must be. Sun Xiaonong said hatefully. Although our medicinal herbs are worse than the Sun family's, the Xie family's medicinal herbs are not completely qualified. Many of them are not up to standard. Why is it that only our Xie family was cancelled, but the Sun family was not? Isn't this clearly targeting us? Yes, let me ask. Medicine Master Sun took a deep breath and dialed Medicine Master Ge's number. Medicine Master Sun, what's the matter? Medicine Master Go asked. Old Ge, do you know that the Sun family has been cancelled as a supplier? Medicine Master Sun asked. I just sent out a notice. Everyone in the Warriors Market knows about it, Medicine Master Ge said. Does anyone else besides the Sun family know about the cancellation? Medicine Master Sun asked. No, only the Sun family. The cancellation was very sudden. We don't know the reason. We only know that the Sun family's medicinal herbs are not up to standard, Medicine Master Ge said. Okay, I got it. Medicine Master Sun hung up the phone. His face was terrible. Sure enough, it was targeted at the Sun family. Fast, ruthless, and accurate. The Xie family was not affected, which meant that the spot check was just an excuse. The goal was to punish the Sun family. How is it? Sun Xiaonong asked quickly after Medicine Master Sun hung up the phone. It's only our family. The Xie family is still fine. Medicine Master Sun sighed. I'm afraid it's really the Chen family. Chapter 249. Sun Xiaonong's face also became extremely pale. It's over, it's over. Impulsiveness is the devil. If I had known, I wouldn't have done it to Chen Jinpeng. Sun Yuming and Sun Yuli were also somewhat silent. Previously, the Sun family was showing off, feeling good about themselves, and bursting with self-confidence. Who could have thought so far ahead? Only now did they realize that the Sun family was far from those real aristocratic families. Although the Sun family was rich, they did not have a worthy martial artist. They were bullied, but they could do nothing. Of course, although everyone was a little regretful, the urgent matter was not regret, but to think of countermeasures. What should the Sun family do in the future? They were removed from the warriors' market, and they were hated by the Chen family. Where would they go in the future? Seeing that the Sun family was about to reach the peak of the family, from a small business family to an aristocratic family, Sun Xiaonong's original plan was very good. First, the Sun family obtained the supply share of all the warriors' market, then earned money to hire martial artists, and then, with the help of medicine master Sun, let the third generation of the family embark on the road of martial arts cultivation. In this way, it would not take many years for the Sun family to surpass the Xie family. It would not be a problem to surpass the original aristocratic families. And it would not be impossible to replace the number one aristocratic family in Songning City, the Cheng family. But now, all of this had become a dream. The Sun family was beaten back to its original state, and they could not make a comeback. This was the most frustrating and helpless. Father, I think we are not at the end of the line. Although we can't do it now, it is only because we have offended the Chen family. What if we rely on one of the aristocratic families in Songning City? Sun Yuming was the second-generation boss after all, and his words were also very standard. He found the problem immediately. The enemy of an enemy was a friend. The aristocratic families in Songning City were not monolithic, and they were all competitors. As long as they relied on a family that had a bad relationship with the Chen family, then the Sun family might have a chance to make a comeback. Oh! Sun Xiaonong was slightly stunned. At this time, Medicine Master Sun suddenly slapped his thighs and said, "Yes, our Sun family can endure hardships, pretend to rely on an aristocratic family, and then slowly accumulate strength. Maybe we can swallow that aristocratic family in one fell swoop, and then replace it as the new generation aristocratic family." Yes, Mingming and Yukai are right. Sun Xiaonong finally breathed a sigh of relief after listening. It seemed that the Sun family still had a chance. At that time, the Sun family still had hope to rise again. Father, if that's the case, we should find a family that isn't particularly strong. It would be best if it's a family that's on the decline. Otherwise, even if they don't lack us, they might not be able to value us. Not to be outdone, Sun Yuli said, "Moreover, if we want to replace them in the future, the other party must not be very strong. Otherwise, it will not be so easy for us to annex the main family." Good, that's a good analysis. Sun Xiaonong was very relieved. He didn't expect the Sun family to think of a countermeasure so quickly, and it was a very feasible countermeasure. Yukai, you are the pharmacist of the martial artists market square in Songning City. You have more contact with the aristocratic families in Songning City. Tell me, what's their structure? Which family is weaker? Which family will we rely on to have a better future? Okay, uncle, let me think about it. Pharmacist's son took a deep breath and was lost in thought. Then, he said as if he was talking to himself, "The Chung family is definitely not going to make it. Nowadays, the Chung family is like the sun in the sky. Although Chung Zhongqian has disappeared, Chung Zhongming and Chung Zhongfan are the backbone of the family. Chung Mingqiang, the third generation, is also an outstanding talent of the young generation, the Jin family. This family is a little sick. All the members of the family are a little crazy. It's better to stay away from them. That golden fur Lion King and his granddaughter Jin Bebe are not good people. If we cooperate with them, we won't even know how we die." I'm more optimistic about the Xiao family. However, because we have a hostile relationship with the good-for-nothing of the Xiao family, Xiao Chun, I'll think about whether there are any suitable families for this family. The Chow family is definitely out of the question. With Chow Yuliang, there's no need to think about it. The same goes for the Chen family. We can also exclude them. The Zhu family. Zhu Yingxiong is also Xiao Chen's younger brother. Besides, the Zhu family has suddenly become powerful. With the old ancestor of the Zhu family, they are now in the period of development. They don't need us to surrender to them. They are already thriving. The Yu family, Yu Xiaochuan, is known as the leader of the young generation. Besides, Yu Xiaochuan is a hypocrite who is best at scheming. If we surrender to them, Yu Xiaochuan may backstab us. The Tang clan, on the other hand, has some relations with me. I was the one who cured their daughter Tang Tang. However, I didn't cure her well, nor did I cure her badly. She became a fatty. However, the only problem now is that the Yu clan and the Tang clan haven't officially signed the marriage contract. The relationship between the two clans is also very ambiguous. Although the Tang clan can't be said to be thriving day by day, they haven't regressed either. And our biggest advantage is business, but the Tang family has their own business channels, which are also very complete. If we go, it will only be the icing on the cake. We won't be valued. The Liu family is an underworld family. It's best not to get involved with this kind of family. Otherwise, you might get into trouble and be annexed by others. You can't do anything about this kind of family being unreasonable. The rest are the Zheng family of the former Zheng's martial arts school, and the Shen family and Qi family in Songning City. But the Shen family and the Qi family are big and don't care about us at all. And the Zheng family is no longer an aristocratic family. Even if we replace them, it's useless, and they can't protect the Sun family. So, after thinking about it, only the Xiao family is the most suitable. After listening to Sun Yotsai's analysis, Sun Xiaonong frowned. Yes, in fact, in my mind, the most ideal family is the Xiao family. Why? Uncle, listen to my analysis slowly. Sun Yukai nodded and said, right now the Xiao family is a family that is going downhill. Before, the Xiao family was one of the top 5 aristocratic families. But since the second generation Xiao Feng disappeared, the Xiao family's Xiao Chen was kicked out of the family. What does the Xiao family have? Although Xiao Hai's strength is not bad, he is only a stage 7 inner force warrior. And he is still a daughter. When the time comes, he will be married off. It can be said that the Xiao family will be extinct in the future. And most importantly, the Xiao family's business has just started, and it is supported by Xiao Hai alone. In the past, there was Xiao Feng to share the family's affairs, so Xiao Hai could still concentrate on the business. Now, he has to manage the family's affairs and business. Moreover, I also know a big secret. That is, Xiao Yuanshan won't be able to live for long. What? Medicine Master Sun's words shocked Sun Xiaonong. Isn't Xiao Yuanshan a stage 9 inner force warrior? How come he won't be able to live for long? Logically speaking, when a warrior reaches stage 8 inner force, it is not as simple as just improving their strength. Once their inner force reaches stage 8 inner force, their lifespan will also increase. It is very easy to live to 100 years old, and Xiao Yuanshan is only in his 60s. Why is he dying? Hehe, others don't know but I know. Because he asked me and old Gu to treat him. Medicine Master Sun laughed evilly and said, of course, this is a secret of the warrior market. If you are not one of us, I will not casually say it. This concerns the reputation of the warrior market, and this is a matter of life and death for our Sun family. Even if I say it, you have to keep it a secret. Okay. Sun Xiaonong glanced at the people present. Other than Sun Yukai, there was Sun Yuming and Sun Yuli. Sun Yumao was sad about Chen Iotafor's accidental death, so he did not attend the meeting. Don't worry, father. Brother Yukai, we will not say anything. Sun Yuming and Sun Yuli quickly said. And actually, Xiao Yuanshan was poisoned by a kind of poison. This kind of poison isn't a big deal normally, but when you cultivate, you will feel a tightness in your chest, and your strength will slowly decrease. I reckon that Xiao Yuanshan is already a stage 7 inner strength martial artist. Once he drops down from a stage 1 inner strength martial artist, he won't be far from death, unless a deity can save him. Medicine Master Sun said. This poison is very overbearing, and there is no antidote. At least Medicine Master Go and I have no solution. Oh, this is good news. Xiao family is going downhill. But if Xiao Yuanshan dies, will Xiao Chen take over? If Xiao Chen comes back to take over, we still can't swallow up Xiao family. Sun Xiaonong asked. Xiao Chen, a good for nothing. If Xiao Yuanshan dies, with Xiao Hai's intellect, killing them is just a matter of minutes. Medicine Master Sun said with disdain. Don't forget what I do. Poison Xiao Hai. And after he dies, we will deal with Xiao Chen. At that time, the great Xiao family will belong to our Sun family, and our Sun family can rise again. At that time, we will replace the Xiao family, and we will not be afraid of the Chen family or the Chao family. We are also one of the 4 big and 5 small families. What can they do to us? Even the warriors' market will have to re-evaluate our strength. Yes, what you said makes sense. Sun Xiaonong slowly nodded. Famous, beneficial. What do you think? How about we go and surrender to the Xiao family? I agree. Sun Yuming listened to Sun Youcai's analysis and felt that it was very reliable. What we are lacking now is Xiao Chen's side. What if the Xiao family doesn't accept us because of Xiao Chen? Sun Yuli said with some worry. This is not very likely. First, Xiao Chen has been kicked out of the Xiao family, and his matters have nothing to do with the Xiao family. I don't think his life or death has much to do with the Xiao family. Second, the people who have conflicts with Xiao Chen are Sun Rongjin, Sun Rongqin, and Chen Iofo. They are already dead, and the rest of the Sun family has no hatred with Xiao Chen, right? Sun Yukai said. Chapter 250. Alright, since there's no problem, then it's settled. However, we still need you to take care of this matter. Only you can get in touch with the Xiao family. Go and see if it's possible. If it's possible, our Sun family's business network can be a subsidiary of the Xiao family. At that time, Sun Xiaonong sneered. I understand, uncle. Leave it to me. Medicine Master Sun nodded and agreed. With his identity as a medicine master, it wasn't difficult to get in touch with the Sun family. He could easily get in touch with Xiao Yuanshan. The Sun clan had decided on their future direction and restored their former stability. Medicine Master Sun went back to work, while the Sun clan began to reorganize their businesses. They suspended their business of purchasing medicinal herbs because it was useless now. The warriors' market square did not accept their medicinal herbs at all. The Sun family received the news, and so did the Xie family. When Xie Chaonan heard the news, his first reaction was disbelief, because the Sun family had Medicine Master Sun, who was blessed by the heavens. How could the warriors' market remove the Sun family's qualification as a supplier? Could it be the White Fox? This was Xie Chaonan's first thought. After all, the White Fox was the only one who had attacked the Sun family recently. 3 people from the Sun family were killed by wind on horseback. This was a huge move. However, did the White Fox have the ability to influence the decision of the warriors' market? The only person who could make such a decision was Tai Muching. However, Xie Chaonan and Tai Muching had been doing business for many years. He knew Tai Muching's character very well. Tai Muching was an upright and strict person. He was loyal to the Hong Chamber of Commerce and wouldn't interfere with the normal operation of the warriors' market because of selfishness. He definitely wouldn't listen to someone else and remove the Sun family's qualification as a supplier. Even if he didn't care about the Sun family's reputation, Medicine Master Sun was still the pillar of the warriors' market. However, Xie Chaonan thought of a bold possibility. He looked at Xie Chaonan and Xie Huang and said, Do you think that the White Fox is a superpower user and can influence the thoughts of others? I'm afraid that's the case. Xie Chaobei nodded. If the wind can kill people, it should be able to affect other people's thoughts. Damn, this is too awesome. It sounds like a sci-fi movie. Xie Huang sighed. But I also think it's the work of the White Fox hero. It must be. I'll get Xie Fei to thank her. Xie Chaonan said as he picked up the phone. Xiao Chun naturally knew that the Sun family was finished, and the Xie family had become the dominant family again. At this moment, he was cultivating crazily. The morning passed in the blink of an eye. At noon, Xiao Chun called Cheng Minjing and found out that he only finished the physical examination for the girls in the morning. He still had to continue the physical examination in the afternoon, so he simply didn't go to school. However, with the help of the jade ring, Xiaochun felt that the effect of his cultivation was obviously much stronger than before. However, he was still one step away from the 5th level of the qi refinement stage. However, he was not far from it. He was already at the peak of the 4th level of the qi refinement stage. He only needed a little more to step into the 5th level of the qi refinement stage. Phew! When Xiaochun heard the sound of a car coming from outside the villa, he knew that the eldest miss had returned. So he stopped his cultivation and got up to leave the room. As expected, Cheng Minjing was back, and Jean Bebe was with her. However, after Jean Bebe sent Cheng Minjing off, she said goodbye to Xiaochun and drove away. "I'm exhausted. Xiaochun, come and help me carry my bag," Cheng Minjing said as she threw the bag in her hand to Xiaochun. "I've been busy for the whole day, but I've carried this bag for nothing. Why is the school suddenly having a physical examination?" Xiaochun was a little puzzled. There was no notice at all for the sudden physical examination. "Who knows? But I inquired about it later. It seems that Yu Xiaochuan is sponsoring it. I don't know what's wrong with him, but he's sponsoring a physical examination for everyone, including blood tests and x-rays." Cheng Minjing complained as she walked into the villa. She threw herself on the sofa, kicked off her slippers and said to Xiaochun, "Help me turn on the TV." "Oh." Xiaochun put Cheng Minjing's bag aside and turned on the TV. But he was thinking in his heart, Yu Xiaochuan is sponsoring it? Blood tests. What does he mean? Is he looking for something? Is he looking for a lady of mysterious Yin? The more Xiaochun thought about it, the more likely it was. Because Yu Xiaochuan had issued this task before, and the method of blood tests was told to him by Xiaochun. Therefore, Xiaochun suddenly thought of this. It turns out that he wants to practice the chrysanthemum treasure book. I wonder if he has found the lady of mysterious Yin that he needs? Just as he was thinking about it, he turned on the TV. The local TV station was broadcasting an advertisement. "If you have a dream, it will definitely come true. I'm the spokesperson. A large-scale talent show is starting. I'm the spokesperson. I speak for myself. This kind of talent show is endless. Every once in a while there would be a new show." Xiaochun was already used to it. However, this show was actually local. When Xiaochun saw the sponsor at the bottom right corner of the TV, he was stunned. It was actually the Yu family's Buchuan group. The Yu family's company was very scattered in the first few years. However, these years, the company had formed a scale and began to form a group. They reorganized and formed a new Buchuan group. This also showed that the next successor of the Yu family was Yu Buchuan. Otherwise, the name of the group would not be named after him. As long as your appearance meets the requirements and you are healthy, you can sign up. The TV was still blabbering nonstop. Healthy. Hee. Xiaochun was suddenly happy. Wasn't this still a blood test? He knew what Yu Xiaochuan was going to do. It was estimated that no one met his requirements in today's physical examination. He had no choice but to use a talent show to expand the scope of the audition. As long as one could pass the audition and be chosen, they could become the spokesperson of the Buchuan group. It was estimated that Yu Xiaochuan was going to use the unspoken rules. Even if the person who met the requirements did not look good, they would still become the first and successfully become the spokesperson. Shaking his head, Xiaochun did not pay attention to him. If he wanted to practice, then let him practice. At least for now, Yu Xiaochuan was not his enemy. Moreover, the elder heaven ancestor said that his mental cultivation method was even more awesome than the chrysanthemum treasure book. So he was not afraid of him. What's so good about this advertisement? Help me change the channel, Cheng Minjing said in boredom. You're not going to participate in this event where I'm the spokesperson? Xiaochun asked. I'm not that bored, Cheng Minjing said uninterestedly. Quickly change the channel. Okay. Xiaochun changed the channel. It happened to be the recently popular TV series, Campus Belle's Bodyguard. Cheng Minjing watched it with relish. Speaking of which, in the past few days, Lu Zhenming was also cramming for this film. He also sent a WeChat message to the author, Fishman 2, asking for a role. Originally, He did not expect that Fishman too could reply to him alone. But he did not expect that he really received a reply. Hello, Student Lu. I have written down your request, but there is no suitable role for you in the campus bell. I will arrange a role for you in the next novel. I guarantee that it will be very bad *SS, and the appearance rate will be very high. Lu Zhiming looked at the message and was ecstatic. He planned to show it to Chung Minjing at school tomorrow. Is this the rhythm of being the protagonist? This made him overjoyed, so he immediately replied, Hello, Fishman too. I have another request. Please help me fulfill it. The female protagonist in the next novel. Let her be called Chung Minjing, okay? Okay. I have written it down. Soon, Fishman 2's message quickly replied. Wahahahaha, Fishman 2 is so considerate of me. Lu Zhiming thought for a while and replied. I have another request. Can you fulfill it? Add a character called Xiaochen. Make the setting more miserable. It's best if it is a good for nothing. Then, Lu Zhiming will often find trouble with him. Oh, okay. I have also written it down. Fishman 2 replied. Wahahahaha, I am the protagonist. Lu Zhiming jumped 3 feet high. He was ready to show off to Chung Minjing tomorrow. As Xiao Chun was preparing to go to the kitchen to cook, the phone in the house rang. Xiao Chun went back to the room to answer the phone. It was actually Xiefei. Xiefei, what's the matter? Asked Xiao Chun. White Fox Hero, thank you. Xiefei was a little excited. To be honest, she was shocked when she heard the news that the Sun family's qualification had been revoked. She didn't expect White Fox Hero to be so powerful and solve the problem once and for all. Thank me for what? Xiao Chun was stunned. The Sun family's qualification as a supplier has been revoked. In the future, only the Xie family will be there. Thank you, Xiefei said. But White Fox Hero, don't worry. Our Xie family will not be short of the 10 million every month. Although the matter has been resolved, this is the reward you deserve. Xiao Chun was a little surprised. The Sun family's qualification was revoked? Why? However, he didn't say that he didn't do it himself. Instead, he said, I took someone's money to eliminate a disaster. Now that the matter has been resolved, why are you still giving me money? Do you want me to work for your Xie family for a long time? How would I dare? My father wants to hire you as a guest elder of our Xie family. The salary is 10 million. Xiefei said. Usually it's just a title. Xie Chaonan didn't stop giving Xiaochen money just because the matter was resolved. It was because he knew that if White Fox wanted to make money, he could just drag it on and not solve it. If he solved it a little every month, he could always make money. But now the matter had been resolved. Xie Chaonan wouldn't do such an ungrateful thing. Therefore, he made this proposal. Firstly, it was to express his gratitude to White Fox Hero. Secondly, he could also build a good relationship with White Fox Hero. It wouldn't cause their relationship to become strangers because of the end of the mission. Then I won't be disrespectful. Xiao Chun was originally short of money. The Xie family was once again the dominant family. He didn't lack 10 million, so Xiao Chun agreed. Chapter 251. However, Xiao Chun was a little puzzled. Who helped me? Or did someone else take down the Sun family for other reasons? This was unknown. And White Fox Hero, can you influence other people's thoughts? Xiefei asked curiously. And Xiao Chun was surprised. Who told you that? There are not many people who can make Tai Muching, the shopkeeper of the warrior market, change his mind, unless you can influence his thoughts. Xiefei said, Mr. White Fox is a superpower user. It should be possible, right? After listening, Xiao Chun suddenly felt a little dumbfounded. He thought that the Xie family had discovered something, but it turned out to be a wild guess. Xiao Chun could really influence other people's thoughts, so he was particularly nervous just now. Think whatever you want, Xiao Chun said vaguely. So it's true? Xiefei thought about it. Then can White Fox influence me at that time? Can he make me change my mind? However, Xiefei didn't say this in the end. First, it was not good to say it on the phone. If she wanted to say it, she would say it in person. Second, she hadn't decided whether to tell White Fox Hero or not. If you think it's true, then it's true. Xiao Chun smiled. Then, can you come over when you have time? Forget it. It's nothing. CFA couldn't make a decision in the end. She and White Fox Hero were not very familiar. She was also afraid that White Fox Hero would mistakenly think that she wanted to seduce him, so she didn't say it. And Xiao Chun was a little puzzled, but since CFA didn't want to say it, he naturally wouldn't force her. He shook his head with a bitter smile. Xiao Chun said, "That's fine. Call me if there's anything." "Okay, no problem." CFA nodded. After hanging up the phone, Xiao Chun set the timer for the electric pot, and then went to cook for the Mississippi. Nothing happened that night. The next morning, Xiao Chun went to Tang Tang's residence again and saw her. Tang Tang's face looked better. Xiao Chun asked the Elder Heaven Ancestor, "Elder Heaven Ancestor, how long will it take for Tang Tang to wake up?" "Soon. It should be around this time tomorrow. Around 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning," the Elder Heaven Ancestor estimated. But it's hard to say. It has to do with each person's constitution. "Well, as long as you're okay." Xiao Chun tucked her in and left her house. Without Tang Tang, Xiao Chun didn't bother to go to the morning market street to set up a stall. Now Xiao Chun didn't care about the income from selling breakfast on the morning market street. The reason why he insisted on going there every day was that Tang Tang was there. It had become a habit of Xiao Chun. The days with Tang Tang were very happy. Xiao Chun didn't know if it was like a person. It was not like it. In short, it was a very strange feeling. He didn't have the palpitation of his heart for Shen Jingxian, but there was a strange warmth and satisfaction. It seemed that he would sell breakfast here for a lifetime. Xiao Chun was also willing, so Xiao Chun would stick to it until now. Now that Tang Tang was sick, Xiao Chun had no interest, which reminded Xiao Chun of a saying that it didn't matter whether he sold fried dough sticks or not. What mattered was who he sold them with. However, not long after he left Tang Tang's house, Xiao Chun's cell phone rang. Who was looking for him so early in the morning? Xiao Chun glanced at the caller ID. It was actually a call from the SIM card of his main body. Moreover, it was Chen Jinping who was calling. "Little Shack, why are you looking for me? Don't you sleep so early in the morning?" asked Xiao Chun. "Ha, boss Xiao Chun. Let me tell you a piece of good news. The Sun family that Sun Rongjin, who teased Lin Kuer, is from, had my dad make a deal with them, and have their qualifications as suppliers to the Warriors Guild revoked. They can go back and cry their hearts out. Offending boss Xiao Chun is the same as seeking death." In order to make Xiao Chun feel that he was not too deliberate, Chen Jinping had such good news to show off. "Oh really? That's good, but it has nothing to do with me. You just want this?" Xiao Chun secretly thought in his heart. Could it be that Chen Jinping's dad helped me indirectly? This was really a lucky hit. Haha, it's like this. There is something that is a little dangerous, but I think it is also an opportunity. With boss Xiao Chun's strength, you will not let it go. Chen Jinping also learned to be smart this time. He learned to suppress first and then let it go. "What is it? If you have something to say it." Xiao Chun frowned. "Do you need to pay for your phone? It has been almost a minute." It's a monthly fee." Chen Jinping was stunned. "I'll freaking complain that you're wasting my electricity," Xiao Chun said. It's like this. Isn't the person who died in the car race with you called Li Shanpao? He has a junior called Lin Chao. He is not satisfied, so he wants to compete with you again. Of course, it is not a free competition. There is also a reward," Chen Jinping said. He, Chao Yuliang, and Li Shanying had discussed it. They would put the blame on Lin Chao. Anyway, the person who took revenge was Lin Chao. If Xiao Chun died, the Xiao family and the Chung family would know that Xiao Chun died because of Lin Chao. It had nothing to do with the Li family. Although Lin Chao knew it was a trap, he had to jump into it. If he didn't jump, Li Shanying would kill him first. He wouldn't have kept him alive until now. On the other hand, if the car race with Xiao Chun ended, he still had a chance. Li Shanying would give him a sum of money to go abroad. By then, he would be able to go abroad. No matter how bad *SS the Xiao family was, they were only limited to Songning City. Not to mention that he would go abroad. Therefore, Lin Chao didn't object to this reason. Chen Jinping told Xiao Chun. Anyway, the pros and cons had been told to Xiao Chun. Whether Xiaochen followed was his own business. It had nothing to do with Chen Jinping. In order to ensure that he wouldn't rely on him in the future, he also secretly recorded the phone call. Lin Chao, how much is the reward? Xiaochen found it a little funny. Did he come up with a new trick, because he didn't kill me last time? Racing again? Sure, but Xiaochen said, I'm not interested in money recently. My level has increased. If you want to gamble, you can do it. Get something else. What? Chen Jinping was stunned. Recently, I've been liking ancient jade, especially the jade used by famous warriors. I heard that if you wear these things on your body, you can become a warrior. You also know that I plan to cultivate to become a warrior. Xiaochen said, do you have it? If you don't look for me. I've been collecting ancient jade recently. I don't have time to do anything else. It was better to look for it together. If he wanted money, he still had to buy jade in the end. It was better to let Chen Jinping and the others think of a way together. With such an excuse, Xiaochen would feel sorry for himself if he didn't blackmail him. Ah, ancient jade. Chen Jinping was a little stunned. It must be used by famous martial artists? Where can I find it? It's too difficult. Can't I give you more gambling money? Forget it. I'll look for it myself. You can find someone else to race. Xiaochen said directly. I'm not short of money recently. D*MN. Not short of money. A while ago, you were making money everywhere like a mad dog. Now you're not short of money anymore. However, Chen Jinping had no choice. After listening to Xiaochen, he could only say, okay, I'll try. Then call me when you have news. Xiaochen hung up the phone. Chen Jinping held the phone helplessly. Chao Yuliang and Li Shanning were waiting for the news. How is it? Did Xiaochen agree? What ancient jade? This guy suddenly said that he wanted ancient jade used by famous martial artists. I don't have that kind of thing. Chen Jinping said. He said that he is not short of money recently. I don't know who said that the ancient jade used by famous martial artists can help him cultivate. Isn't this nonsense? It's also the first time I've heard of such a strange effect. Li Shanning said. But this is nothing. Our Li family has a lot of antiques. There are also many things used by famous masters. I'll ask someone to bring a few. Let him choose then. It doesn't matter anyway. If he dies, everything will still be mine. That's good. Chen Jinping breathed a sigh of relief. I'll call him back. After that, Chen Jinping dialed Xiaochen's phone again. Why are you calling again? Don't you know that my cell phone is almost out of battery? Buy a power bank and send it to me. Don't waste my cell phone battery. Xiaochen picked up the phone and said, okay, I'll buy one for you later. Chen Jinping agreed without thinking. A power bank didn't cost much. He continued, it's like this, boss Xiaochen, I've discussed it with Li Chao. He's been racing all these years, and he's won a lot of things. There's really an ancient jade used by a martial artist. When the time comes, he'll bring it over. Will you race? Okay, when? When Xiaochen heard that there was an ancient jade, he naturally agreed. Is this Saturday okay? Chen Jinping asked. Yes, where? Xiaochen didn't care. Any time was fine. I'll tell you when Lin Chao decides. Chen Jinping said. If you agree, then I can tell Lin Chao to arrange it. Okay, then I'll wait for your news. Xiaochen hung up the phone. He looked at the time and walked to school. Although it was a bit early, it was almost time. Along the way, Xiaochen was surprised to find that the advertising signs on both sides of the road had been changed to "You Families. I'm the spokesperson" advertisement. On it was written, the first place has an annual salary of 1 million endorsement contract. The second place has a bonus of 300,000. The third place has a bonus of 100,000. The selection and registration requirements were very low. As long as one went to the hospital to do a physical examination and fill in a form, one could enter the candidate list. There was no need for the contestants to do anything. Such a simple process. Other than Xiaochen, it was hard for others to understand what You Family was doing. The cost of organizing this event wasn't low. They had invested so much money, but in the end, it was all thunder and no action. There wasn't a TV talent show, but the first, second, and third place were directly determined after the audition. This was simply child's play. Generally, this event was to promote the company, but after this selection, the first, second, and third place were directly determined. It was really unimaginable. It was impossible to say that the rankings were predetermined. After all, if it was predetermined, the first, second, and third place wouldn't bring any substantial benefits to themselves. You're tuning in to the Journey of the Soul YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.